Welcome, everyone, to the 2005 Century 21 Home Run Derby. Some home runs you might even be able to see from our blimp shot. They may go that high. Our first ever international home run derby. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. So glad you could be with us here. And hello to those watching throughout 50 states. Hello to those perhaps watching in hundreds of countries around the world, listening on ESPN Radio. And of course, a special hello to those here in Comerica Park, the home of the Tigers, Detroit, Michigan, the Motor City. You folks down behind first base in the right field line. Are you ready? Come on, are you ready? Out there in the bleachers, are you guys ready? In right and left field. Are you ready out there? Come on, get up, let's go. Down here over the third base line, are you ready? Behind home plate, are you ready? Up in the upper deck, are you ready? Are you ready for some long ball? We certainly hope so. Are you ready for some hometown music? Some more of it, yeah? Detroit homegrown music. Here again is Alter Bridge with something you want to do tonight. Open your eyes. Guys?
See what it is that's killing me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Bridge with little help from Mike Piazza and Johnny Damon. Give them a big hand. Good homegrown sound. Well, it of course is our pleasure to broadcast the Home Run Derby every year. And I have with me, as always, my compatriot. He was one of the best to ever play. He's a National League MVP a couple of times. He's a Hall of Famer. Sitting at our broadcast desk over on the third base side. Say hello to Joe Morgan. This is our first International Century 21 Home Run Derby. We have 8 players representing 8 different countries tonight. So a little bit of a change. Let's meet them all, shall we? And give them a big Detroit welcome. Representing Venezuela, the birthplace of Hall of Famer Luis Aparicio. 6 straight 2020 seasons, his 2nd straight All-Star game. The right fielder from the Philadelphia Phillies, Bobby Abreu. Representing Canada, the home of Hall of Famer Ferguson Jenkins, last year's National League Rookie of the Year. From the Little League World Series to the Pittsburgh Pirates in left field to the All-Star game, please welcome Jason Bay. Representing Panama, the home of Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He lit him up for the White Sox. Now he's doing just that for the Milwaukee Brewers. His 76 RBIs leads the American League. He hit his first at bat in the major leagues, was a home run. What do we see tonight from left fielder Carlos Lee? Representing South Korea, he played on their junior national team. A weekend in Los Angeles, this young man will never forget it. 3 homers in a game from the LA Dodgers first baseman, Hee-Sup Choi. And now, representing Puerto Rico, home of Hall of Famers Roberto Clemente and Orlando Cepeda, a 12-time All-Star, 11 Gold Gloves, MVP, will go down as one of the greatest catchers ever to play from your Detroit Tigers, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. From the United States, a young man born in Maryland, came into his own last year with 38 home runs. This year, he leads the American League with 25 dingers. First baseman from the Texas Rangers, Mark Yellow Rose of Teixeira. From the Dominican Republic, the home of Hall of Famer Juan Marichal. How many game-winning home runs can you have in the ALDS against the Angels, in the ALCS against the Yankees? He homered in last year's All-Star game. From the world champion Boston Red Sox, Big Papi David Ortiz. Representing the Netherlands, from the island in the Caribbean, Curacao, he's just 28 and already closing in on 300 home runs. He patrols center field with the grace of a gazelle and the speed of a cheetah. Tied for the major league lead in homers at the break with 27 from the Atlanta Braves, Andruw Jones. Those are our 8 participants tonight in the Century 21 International Home Run Derby. But first, to throw out the first pitch, this gentleman won last year. Remember, he had 15 home runs in Houston in one single round. He's been an AL MVP. He's doing it again for the Baltimore Orioles this year at shortstop. To throw out the first pitch, Miguel Tejada, and he'll be accompanied by the president and CEO of Century 21, Tom Kuhn. See, mulligans are legal, no problem. Coming up, our Century 21 Home Run Derby. How far can they hit them? We'll be back.
MLB at Home is presented by T-Mobile, here to connect you to what matters most. Learn about T-Mobile's COVID-19 response at T-Mobile.com.
The Century 21 Home Run Derby is brought to you by Century 21. Visit your local Century 21 office. Real estate for your world. And in part by Budweiser Select. Brewed for a crisp taste that finishes clean. Be selective. And Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions.
A nice summer evening at Comerica Park, which you will enjoy in HD. ESPN HD, the Home Run Derby, the sounds, the sights, like you've never seen them before. Hopefully you are doing that right now. Well, the rules of this, if this is your first time, they've been pretty much tweaked the last couple of years to get to round one. Every player gets 10 outs. Now, an out is any swing that is not a home run, a line drive off the wall or a pop-up behind the plate or a miss. It's the same thing. It's all an out. Balls, obviously, that are homers, they keep on going. So the top 4 home run totals advance. We'll explain the tiebreakers if needed. Now, round 2, we got 4 players. The home runs do not carry over in either of the rounds to the next one. Each player again gets 10 outs, and the top 2 advance to the championship round, where you clean the slate, you start it again. Everybody gets 10 outs. They'll be very tired, but the most home runs in the final is the champion. Now, Comerica Park, when it first opened in 2000, replacing the almost century-old Tiger Stadium, which is still standing, by the way, it was one of the toughest, if not the toughest part to hit home runs. Left field is 345, dead center is 420. Left center was really long until they moved it into 370. Right center 365, right field 330. So, as we welcome in now at the set, Joe Morgan, not an easy park to hit home runs at, but yet it is the Home Run Derby. So,
well, these guys will make any park look small. But I still believe that the left-handed hitters have an advantage in this ballpark over the right-handed hitters. And they even moved the fence in from left field. It was much bigger before. This was a big ballpark. But I still believe that the left-handed hitters, one, I'm going to pick Mark Teixeira and David Ortiz. One of those 2 guys is going to win, or do I have to just pick one?
You pick one. Pick Teixeira. I'll be on Ortiz.
Okay.
Teixeira is a switch hitter, but he's hitting left-handed.
Well, he better hit left-handed in this ballpark.
Well, he's also hit all of his homers this year left-handed, so it was an easy choice for him.
Yeah.
And so all of the All-Stars are milling because they want to see what happens to the little kids watching this.
Well, there's nothing better than the Home Run Derby.
I know that. That's why we're here every year, Joe.
Exactly.
And when the batters have 9 outs and 1 to go, it's not just any baseball, it's a gold baseball. So we bring in our golden girl, Sam Ryan. Sam?
Why, thank you, Boomer. Well, this is exactly right. This is the new gold ball, new to this year's Home Run Derby. When they get to 9 outs, every hitter will be pitched this special gold ball. Now, for every home run hit with this gold ball, Century 21 and Major League Baseball will be donating $21,000 to various charities, including the Boys and Girls Club of America and Easter Seals. So a lot of money could be raised, Chris and Joe, for a good cause tonight.
Well, which is great. And there are many other ways where folks can, we'll explain. There are 8 different folks, Sam, that each player is hitting for, and the winner will get $250,000, Century 21, toward the purchase of a home. And so everybody all of a sudden has their favorite player. Bobby Abreu will be first up. And, you know, there are some of those that are hoping that their player is the one. We've seen it really interesting get down to the finals, Joe, but so you think Ortiz or Teixeira? How about an outsider? I mean, Andruw Jones is at homers. Not that he's an outsider. 27 homers, you wouldn't normally associate that with him.
Well, my outside choice is going to be Carlos Lee. If I'm going to have to go to the right side, I'll take Carlos Lee from the Milwaukee Brewers. Well, but I agree that Andruw Jones is a good choice for you.
So my outside choice, outside.
Okay.
He only has a handful of homers. He's not a home run hitter. Pudge. He's home. What the heck? He's home.
Well, you're going to. The fans will be pulling for him. They might energize.
Think of
him
how much farther the ball will go when you're the hometown
Exactly.
guy. Another 10 feet. I'm thinking, Joe, that's going to help. So Pudge. And the others dig in, and it'll be Bobby Abreu representing Venezuela. 18 homers this year for the Philadelphia Phillies, who started out awfully, but have made some sort of a run. Everybody is in it in that torrid NL East. And so Bobby Abreu digs in. We're underway, Joe. The 2005 Century 21 Home Run Derby. And I'm looking up the foul lines, and I'm seeing the photographers like it's a golf tournament. But, you know...
Let's say the golfers at least have some control over their balls.
Some. Right away, the first swing. And how about that? He should retire right now. Bobby Abreu with the Phillies.
Well, anyone will tell you the first one's always the most difficult, and he got it right out of the way, because a lot of times you start to pressure yourself a little bit if you go 4 or 5 without hitting one out.
Yeah, this one won't quite get there.
Well, the one thing, the ball's jumping off his bat.
Yes.
And that's the key. I mean, he's getting good wood on it. It's jumping.
His first home run went 434 feet. So
I'd say that's jumping.
That would jump. It's going to the same spot. If he can just straighten it out. Oh, he doesn't have to. That's gone. And that's why, certainly to the home run derby, you got to bring your mitt. Good grab out there. That's a high wall, Joe, in right center. And part of it, when you haven't been in this thing before, is to show patience like he has. You know, we've seen so many. Mike Piazza comes to mind. We joked about it with Mike, who was our broadcast partner for good reason.
And I asked him why he wasn't over here today.
Well, you see, I told him a guest appearance is warranted. But Mike hit ground balls for 2 years, especially at his home park of Philadelphia, not home, you know,
Home
close
state,
to where he grew up, Norristown, PA. And he said, I'm not doing this anymore.
He's the only Philly to go 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases in the same season.
Abreu gets under that one, a little carry. Hey, how about that?
Well, again, the ball carries so much better to right field than it does to left. I didn't think he got all of that one, but players today are so strong they don't have to get it all.
I just like the patience he's showing, and he's got his own pitcher, Ramon Henderson from the Phillies. And that one looks like it's back. Fair ball, and it's a home run. And he's straightened out down the line. That'll be a whole nother story, Joe. The Cy Young Award pitchers are taking video of this. They all bring their video cameras to players. It's fun. This one goes way back to right. It's deep to right field, and it is, wow, off the upper facade. Pitcherman Johan Santana saying, hey, Venezuela, look at us. Cy Young, maybe home run champ, home run derby champ at least. 463, that one.
63 feet.
That's about your distance, right, with a driver. Off the first tee. Look at this.
Back. That's quite a three-wood. He's only got 3 outs. 6 homers thus far. 482, that one, Joe.
Well, he's getting loose.
Yeah. This one is straight. It just almost scraped the blimp. And this gets out of there, too.
I think he better make some outs and save his strength for these rounds. You know that's what happens.
Well, but when you're first, you just don't know, do you?
Well, I think 7 is pretty good. That'll get you to the second round.
Are you sure? It has been. I agree. I agree. Oh, this is the dead center where it's a long way out. And it'll give all those youngsters out there shagging flies a chance to participate. It's a long center field. Bobby Abreu with the rainbow again to right, and yes, sir.
Well, neither one of us picked Abreu, did we?
We can
change.
Can we rewind?
Maybe the second round we'll
with
see what's
TiVo
left.
to change it. Wow. This is pretty good right out of the gates here. This is a long way to right center. Back it goes. Back. Gone. Long gone.
Well, that's David Ortiz telling him to
stop
sit down.
it.
That's
David
enough.
Ortiz said, that's enough. Rest.
Got 9.
Get out of here.
Well, 10 would be an even number. So.
It's quite a show he's put on.
Yeah. Well, one good thing is not as hot and humid here as it has been in some other venues.
Man! Where did that one go? Over everything!
Well, again, it's not as hot and humid, so he may not get as tired. Maybe just let it go.
How about that? 517. 517 feet. Is that possible?
That's Sammy Sosa-like.
Bobby Abreu just coming out of the garage into the diamond lane. What's the matter with him, Joe? Only 5 outs. He's got 10 homers. Usually it's someone in their first home run, you know, that you're just happy to get in the second round, then you get going. The Braves, who, wait a minute. Now Bobby, who was an all-star for the first time last year, 6 straight 20 home run, 20 steal seasons, joining Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonds, and Willie Mays, the only ones.
And he's the only Philly player to have 2 30-30 seasons, 2 30 home run and 30 steal season.
Wow, that was more of a laser to right center that's gone.
Well, I think the ball is really jumping to right field. Not that he's not hitting it well, but 500 plus feet, that's pretty big fly. That's a big fly there.
Like we said, it'd be impossible to hit homers in this park.
Yeah.
Way back and gone. About 15 rows back. Right below our Baseball Tonight set. I mean, last year in the second round, Miguel Tejada, on his way to winning it, had 15 in 1 round. Jason Giambi has put on many a big round for us before.
But I think Tejada's the only one that...
Oh, man! Back! Home run! Ow! You know, if there's some folks in summer school in Michigan and Ann Arbor, they're going to watch out. One of those balls might make it up there. Yeah, this one won't quite get out. 13 homers right out of the gate. You know, remember in Coors Field, we didn't have as many homers as we thought. Now here in Detroit, we don't think we're going to have a lot. Here we go. You know what that means, Joe?
Yeah, it means fun for us.
That's right.
and the fans who are here.
And how about Detroit crowd rooting for a Philadelphia player? Oh my goodness, atrás, cuadrangular.
Where's my showtime? Where's my pimp? Where's my pimp? Oh, thank you. So gentle. Oye, lo acaba de pillar, muchacho. Un poquito ahí, un poquito. ¿Estás ready? Un poquitito ahí, vamos.
Wouldn't that be nice in the middle of an event to have a drink?
Guys, he want me to lose, but no chance, okay? Copy.
That 517-foot home run that he hit over everything at right field. Only Sammy Sosa had a longer one in Milwaukee. Remember Sammy's in the light tower at the barbecue pits
earlier,
and left. Gone! 15 has tied the record in one round of the Home Run Derby. That went 483 feet. I just love that a Detroit crowd is going all out for a Philly player. It wouldn't happen in hockey, Joe. Say goodbye to the record. And the flags from Venezuela at both sides of the plate. Johan Santana. Melvin Mora, his fellow countrymen from Panama. The flags are out. From Venezuela, the flags are out. You know, the record for a Venezuelan-born player home runs. It's gone again. I was going to say Andres Galarraga has 399.
Correct.
Abreu might pass him tonight. 17 homers, Bobby Abreu. At 30 last year, 31 a few years ago. Goodbye! 18 home runs and counting.
I'd like who's second up in this contest?
By the way, he has 18 in the first 3.5 months of the season. He's got 18 tonight. Jason Bay is up next.
I'd hate to be the one to follow him. And
chances are he won't have as much.
And especially being right-handed, it's going to be difficult.
This is going to center field, right center field. Gone! I don't believe this, Joe.
Well, I think it actually shows not so much his power, but that he has such good contact. He's making great contact.
6 in a row for Abreu.
You want to see it?
I mean, even his line drives are hit hard.
The Phillies got him back in November of '97 in a trade with Tampa Bay, right at the expansion draft for their one-time shortstop Kevin Nightstalker. And Abreu is stalking the twilight, I can tell you that.
Well, Alan Trammell says that he's only seen one ball hitting the upper deck, even during batting practice, and that was Ryan Klesko.
Abreu! No, it's gone! 20!
Well, the problem is he can't carry them over.
I know.
That's the bad part.
I don't think anyone's told him. Now, it is the Century 21 Home Run Derby. It would only be fitting to come up with one.
21?
Yeah.
All right.
And then a 21-gun salute and take a seat. This is going to straight center. And wow! There he goes, Century 21, and that's what he's got.
435 feet.
Phillies are saying, why haven't you hit 60 for us?
See that? Hit it too hard.
He broke the bat. Uh-oh. That's like Robert Redford in The Natural.
Go get him.
You can't lose that
That
bat.
special bat.
Oh, yeah, man.
You're there 45 wins, so hustle somebody back to get him another bat.
7 of his home runs have gone 450 feet or more. Yep, now with a rosin bag, the new lumber.
Well, no, he's borrowed a bat.
I see.
He has Jason Bay's bat now. He says, I can do it with any bat.
Well, no, Jason said, tell you what, put some homers in this bat. Here's Jimmy. Jimmy Rollins, his teammate with the Phillies, the shortstop.
No, this one. This one? Yeah.
They tap it and they can hear it, huh?
All right, back here, let's keep it going. 21 homers.
21 home runs. And yet he's been patient enough. This one to right center field. Back it goes. Back. 22! Might pass Hank Aaron tonight. Wow. So it's not just one bat. We know that now.
No, I've never seen anything like this. Well, no one has in the home run derby.
This one is to
I
right
think he
center
got it.
field. I think so. It's back, and oh yeah.
Well, there's always someone that steals the show, and this is what we're looking for. You just don't anticipate it coming on the first round.
So Joe, if you add up the length of all the home runs, how's 10,000 feet sound to you?
Well,
It goes the other way. Even that goes out.
Pasigo, Manito. Sigo dando.
Wow. Well, he'll have a long rest at least,
Yeah, that's true.
as he's the leadoff batter. How about hitting all those homers from the leadoff spot, Joe? Oh, now we're going to go to every field. Left center field, back it goes. Not quite. And now the gold ball is in. It's when you're down to the last out, here comes the gold ball, and every home run hit with the gold baseball in play will generate $21,000 for charity. Recipients of the Boys and Girls Club of America and charity of Major League Baseball's Easter Seals, officially charity of Century 21. By the way, Ramon Henderson deserves a raise. The
He's
man
a
pitching
pitcher,
to him.
yeah.
Yep. I mean, I don't believe we've just seen this.
No, it's
24 home runs? This is to center field straight away. Does it have enough?
No.
We have never seen a performance like this in the home run derby. 24 home runs. The at-bat was 17 minutes.
And the funny thing about it, he's hitting leadoff in the ball game tomorrow as well.
Venezuela off to a 24 home run start, Sam Ryan.
All right, Chris, 18 home runs on the season, 24 tonight, Bobby Abreu, a home run derby record. How much do you have left?
Well, I started and get a little nervous, but I guess after I hit the first one, I get loosened up. And I don't know, I just feel good. I hit the ball good. I know it's just a long ballpark to right field, but I get a few moments over there, and the ball's carrying very well.
You have your Venezuelan countrymen here. You're representing Venezuela. You were telling me everybody's watching it back home. How much pressure was on you coming into this?
Oh, it's special. You know, I say hi to my country, Venezuela. And then what? Just people came here over to just see the showtime. We're trying to just put a good show. You know, they enjoy it, and that's all about.
Putting on a good show, Bobby Abreu. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Chris, back to you.
Sam, Bobby, thank you. We have not. I don't even know what to say. Right out of the gates with 24 home runs. The greatest leadoff home run hitter of all time is Ricky Henderson. Number?
Well,
number?
24.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
He had 24 homers.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about his home runs is that, I mean, he's just making solid contact. And this one was 517 feet. I mean, he really got that one. And even though the ball travels well here, we were told by Alan Trammell that only Ryan Klesko had hit one up there in batting practice all the time he's been in since the new ballpark opened.
How about this? The home run chart, well, I think he had that rainbow painted, Joe.
Well, he had one to left field as well, though.
Bobby Abreu putting him out to Ann Arbor, putting him out to Kalamazoo. And meanwhile, while you take a look at Bobby, Peter Pasquarelli, look at him down there. Airtime Pete. Providing aerial coverage for tonight's broadcast is Freedom, the AmeriQuest Mortgage Airship. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream in Major League Baseball. And as we get set to watch Jason Bay of the Pittsburgh Pirates, we're joined by the man that has as many home runs as anybody in the major leagues. Has a chance to win a lot of categories. I don't want to use the TC word. But Derek Lee with the Chicago Cubs has joined us.
How you guys doing?
Hi, Derek. How are you?
Good to see you.
Great start. Great. Congratulations on the All-Star selection. How you feeling? That's the big thing.
I feel good. You know, took a few days off. Had some inflammation in my shoulder, but I took a few days off, and it's feeling a lot better.
It's all fallen into place for you this year. Not that you haven't been a big producer before, but why homers, RBIs, and average, Derek?
You know, it's just kind of clicked in for me this season. I felt I've improved the last few years, but you know, this year I got off to a good start. Normally April and May are kind of tough on me, but this year I felt good in spring, and it carried over into the season.
Dusty Baker asked, with Pryor and Wood hurt, some of you could pitch?
I cannot pitch. I'll clarify that right now. I cannot pitch.
With the quadruple crown, right?
Well, he's also a great defensive first baseman. I think that's, you take as much pride in your defense as you do your offense, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, save runs on defense. Sometimes I think it's overlooked, but I take a lot of pride in it and work hard at it.
And it's harder to walk around Chicago these days for you, isn't it? Everybody knows who you are.
But you know what? They know the 25th man in Chicago.
Yeah,
they love the Cubs, so they're going to know who you are regardless.
Guys got a chance to, I mean, you're looking uphill at the Cardinals, but there's two ways to get in.
Yeah, thank God. You know, the Cardinals don't seem to lose. But, you know, we're not giving up that battle yet. We play them a lot in the second half, so we're going to go at it hard and see what happens.
Well, stay with us here. I want to your comments on Abreu. We all were looking at each other as we watched Jason Bay, the Rookie of the Year last year in the National League with the Pittsburgh Pirates from British Columbia, from Trail, British Columbia. It's right near Spokane. It's kind of to the eastern part of BC. Some hockey players like Ray Ferraro and Adam Deadmarsh have come from there, but not so much Major League Baseball players. So this young man from British Columbia, Canada, could go a long way to hit 24 home runs. What was that, Derek? That was amazing with Abreu.
That was amazing. You know, I feel bad for these other guys having to follow up that show. And he did it so effortlessly. It seemed like he could have went on forever.
Well, the tough part is Jason Bay, this is his first one being in it, and it's already difficult being your first time. And now you got to follow a guy to hit 24. But you took batting practice here. Which way does the ball travel best? We've been told it travels best toward right field.
Well, you know, I was trying to pull today in BP.
You're in your pull style.
The ball was definitely carrying today. It's a little warm out here, and the ball was carrying.
All right.
I talked to Jason a little bit. He was a little nervous,
yeah,
but
well,
he's a great hitter.
I think you'd have been nervous, too.
Yeah, I would have been nervous, no doubt about it.
Does that get him off the schneid? Almost.
Like I said earlier, it's always, the first one's always the toughest one. And obviously Abreu got his right away and just continued from there.
Well, Jason Bay, good-looking player, obviously Rookie of the Year a year ago. Does this one get there? Hey, almost.
You want to at least get one.
Yeah.
That's what I want to get the crew say.
The pressure starts to build when you don't get one right away. That's the problem.
He's was a member of the Little League World Series team in Canada in 1990, so he's the first Little League World Series player to be a Rookie of the Year. Now here he is all the way in the All-Star game. His sister Lauren was a pitcher on the 2004 Canadian Olympic softball team. So very good genes. Jason just wants to get off the schneid here. Gets under that one.
Go, ball.
Goes to left center. Almost.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the pressure's starting to mount, but maybe next year he can come over here with us with Mike Piazza.
Mike
Piazza did.
Mike Piazza had a pretty good career.
Piazza went 2 years in a row. 2
Without
years in a
hitting
row
one?
without hitting
Ground
one.
balls, Derek.
Yeah.
Just ground balls to short.
And next year he was over here working with us.
Maybe that's a trick, though, because that guy has put up some great seasons.
Yeah.
Come on, Jason, get one.
Just get one. You're right. What's the difference playing in Chicago and, say, when you're playing in Florida? What's the big difference?
The fans. Chicago's a baseball town. You know, we had a hard time getting fans out in Florida. They just didn't really support the team. But in Chicago, every day it's a sellout. So you're playing playoff atmosphere of baseball every day, and it's exciting.
Hold on a sec. Jason's with Sam Ryan. Sam?
All right, Jason Bay, you told me you were so nervous. You were almost as nervous as you were when you got married. Then you have to follow Bobby Abreu. How much worse did that make it?
It didn't make it any easier. The best chance I had was when Bobby broke his bat and he needed one. I threw him on and I just about got it in there until it showed up. So I had fun. I know there's a lot of people from Canada here. You know, I wish I would have put on a better show, but you know, I still had fun.
Jason Bay, thank you.
You bet.
Well, thank you, Sam and Jason, a good young man, and so for this one it was
You
Canada,
can't do any worse
but
than
he'll have
that.
a better day tomorrow. Hey, Derek,
So you can't do
nice,
any worse than that.
nice you to dress. Enjoy this.
And I will.
I'll
Thank
be
you, guys.
seeing you a lot in the next couple of weeks.
All right.
So.
Good seeing you guys.
Good
Okay.
work.
Derek Lee with 27 homers. Jason Bay did not get it. Bobby Abreu was, well, Abreu fans all over after his 24 home runs. Carlos Lee and Hesop Choi are coming up next. Now let's go to the studio for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update.
We are T-Mobile with the first and only nationwide 5G network, covering over 200 million Americans, and we're just getting started. This isn't our network, it's yours.
Welcome back to Detroit and to Comerica. But before Comerica, there was Tiger Stadium, built the week the Titanic sunk. In 1912 is when it opened. It was Navin Field, then known as Briggs Stadium, and from 61 on known as Tiger Stadium. It's still standing just about 2 miles away. Gave up 11,000 more home runs, the most ever. And of course, the place where Ty Cobb owned and Hank Greenberg. He challenged Babe's record and had 58 home runs in one season. And Mr. Tiger, Al Kaline, such a graceful, such a great right fielder. 3,000 hits, almost 400 home runs, just one shy. Some of the legends that have graced the field in almost a century worth of baseball at Tiger Stadium. 36 balls cleared the roof at Tiger Stadium. The most were Norm Cash. He had 4. And you can see the statue of some of the great Tigers. The longest home run, believed to be the longest home run ever hit anywhere, was out of Tiger Stadium in 1926 when Babe Ruth hit one 626 feet. The ball rolled a block or two away. Over the right center field bleachers, it kept going and going and going. And there it is, still standing, Tiger Stadium. And here's the street 2 blocks away, Joe, Brooklyn and Cherry, where a young man on a bicycle retrieved the ball, brought it back to Babe. He gave him another ball, got to watch the rest of the game, gave him all sorts of stuff as Babe was great with the kids. He had his baseball, and we're back to the Home Run Derby. And now, the Milwaukee Brewers, and representing the country of Panama, is Carlos Lee.
And Hall of Famer Al Kaline was here today. He's sitting right behind us. Got a chance to say hello. Well, this one's going to scatter the guys over here. Somebody better wake up. Yeah.
So Carlos Lee with 76 RBIs, which is the most in the league, in the National League. 22 home runs. Carlos in a trade that helped both teams, and both are all-stars. Traded for Scott Podsednik. Both are all-stars with their new teams this year, Joe.
Yeah, I talked to Kenny Williams, the Chicago White Sox GM, and he said he told the Brewers when he made the trade that they were getting an all-star in Carlos Lee.
And he wasn't lying. How often does a general manager not lie to a team that he's playing with?
Good point.
Trading with them.
There's one.
This ball ain't lying. Back, 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 back. Gone. So Carlos Lee, first all-star game for him. Owns a ranch in Panama with 6,000 head of cattle. .31 homers last year. 31 homers the year before with the White Sox. He was the first White Sox. Now here's another team that's been around forever, Joe, like the Detroit Tigers. And he was the first White Sox to ever hit a home run in his first major league at bat. Happened May 7th, 1999 against Tom Candiotti of Oakland. And gone. That's a long way out by the flagpole.
It's interesting. He's a much bigger player than Abreu, but Abreu was hitting more high fly balls. He's hitting more line drive home runs than the fly ball.
Well, there's the fly ball, and it made it. Made it in the pen. So, I mean, the hardest thing for the players is now to realize, well, gee, I don't need 24 home runs.
Right, exactly. I just need to beat the zero that Jason Bay put up.
Well, that'll get you started.
Yeah.
You know what? Jason will have a big game tomorrow night.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I was watching Reggie Jackson, who's here, and he's going to join us later. I watched Reggie, and I used to think Reggie was a pretty big player. Reggie's small.
Yes, he is.
Compared to all of these guys. I mean, Pudge Rodriguez, all the other guys are bigger than Reggie.
Oh, that ball down the line. Back, 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 back. Gone. You hit it right down the line like that, Joe. That'll get in the tracks.
Well, some of these big hitters, right-handers, I mean, even though the ball doesn't carry well, they're not hitting scrapers anyway. They're going to hit them deep into the bleachers out there.
He gets under that one to center field. And that'll bring the Shag crew over. So 5 outs halfway through. And of course, it's great to see the guys. Oh, man. Back, 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 back. Atrás, atrás, atrás. Hold on. And countryman Mariano Rivera, Panama, rooting for Carlos. That one had the proverbial hair on it. Oh, right down the line. Gone. Oh, scalded.
You know what's good? When he hits the ball down the line, it's not hooking, which means he's getting good extension with his front arm. That ball's not hooking, otherwise it would go foul.
Carlos Lee starting to amass a pretty good total. He's got 6. Of course, no total's going to seem good compared to Bobby Abreu, 24 out of the gate.
Maybe seem funny, but because the ones that he's missing, he's late on them. I think he's trying to muscle up, and he's getting a little late on them because even though the guy's only throwing probably 85 miles an hour, and they're used to looking at 90 plus, he's late on the fly balls that he's hitting in pop-ups. And then when he gets out front like that.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That was the fastest one to go out tonight. Well, now, see, you hit a couple. Now you're more patient at the plate, too, right?
Well, you relax a little bit, and everything seems to fall in place. See, now he's not trying to muscle.
Rope to left. Goodbye. Carlos Lee with an 8 spot. Jason saying, gee, I can do that. That open stance, Joe.
Most guys that hit with an open stance pretty much pull hitters. The only guy that did that wasn't really a pull hitter was Andres the Big Cat Galarraga. Yes. He hit from an open stance, but he really didn't pull the ball all that much. He was left center to right center. But most other players are more pull hitters when they start from an open stance. And one of the reasons for that is it lets them get their hips out of the way quicker.
Eight homers, 8 outs for Carlos Lee of the Brewers. And Carlos has Rich Donnelly, familiar name and face on Jim Leland's staff. All those in Pittsburgh and Florida, and Rich on the staff at Ned Yost in Milwaukee. And now, of course, with the Sisop Choi up next, the gold ball comes in. You can purchase your own limited edition commemorative gold ball, identical to what we're using here tonight at the Century 21 Home Run Derby on MLB.com. A portion of the proceeds will go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America and to Easter Seals, as will every home run hit with the gold ball. Like that one. So $21,000 for charity just like that, and that's great. So 9 homers, 9 outs. Oh, that ball is back, and Kalamazoo. So another $21,000 for charity. So much for, you can't hit it out of here. I mean, we already have 2 in double figures and 3.
Not only that, I mean, the right-handed hitters are the ones that's difficult.
461 feet, that last one. That's his longest one. And does that have enough to get out of left center field? Back. Yes, sir. 11 for Carlos Lee. So Carlos coming out of the gates in his first All-Star appearance, his first home run derby with 11. Didn't get that one, but a pretty good opening performance as well. Excellent by Carlos Lee with 11.
Well, that's more of that's a normal situation. The other one was extraordinary.
So here's the swings, Joe. So Panama, Carlos puts them on the board with 11.
Well, see how he opens his hips up, and that's the key to his swing, I think. That's why he starts from an open stance, so that he can clear his hips out of the way.
And the gold ball home run. It's quite a view from there, huh, Joe? It's like one of your drives at Olympic Club.
Well, I was watching that on TV. Looked like the guy's hitting off the fairway.
Huh? Now Carlos will sit, and Hee-Sop Choi, the Dodgers, coming up and joining us. You ready? Joining us is a man that hit one of the most.
Are you ready? He was having his lunch here.
I know. I hate to break into dinner.
That's all right.
Hall of Famer, one of the great home run hitters of all time, one of the great clutch home run hitters of all time, and that would be Reggie Jackson. Hi, Reg.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
1971 in Detroit.
This
was a home run we're still talking
That's
about.
a real home run. That's a real one here.
It's the All-Star game off Doc Ellis. You remember it like it was yesterday, huh, Reg?
I wish it was yesterday. I've been making a lot of big paper. I wish it was yesterday.
Well, a lot of guys that were there, Red, said it was still going up when it hit that standard. What do you think?
It was still going up. The light standard got in the way, Joe, but if it wouldn't have got in the way, it'd still be rolling.
Does it have, when you hit a home run like that, do you remember, I mean, that's a long time ago, different feel, different sound?
You know, I really was trying to keep from striking out. That's the truth, because Sal Bando had made fun of me. He said, Reggie, you're an alternate on the All-Star team. Don't go back there and embarrass the Oakland A's by striking out. He was a captain, and he lockered next to me. I got out of the batter's box with 2 strikes, and for the first time in my life, I choked up. I just didn't want to strike out. And then Doc hangs a slider, and I get it up in the wind. And then from there, I went like, ooh, look what I did.
So let's see. So choking up, you hit it 580.
Exactly. And then I went around the bases, acted like I knew what I was doing.
And that was before you were Mr. October now. You were just Reggie Jackson.
Well, that was Mr. July.
Yeah, now you're Mr. October.
There you go.
And that All-Star game, as we watch Hee-Sop Choi, and that'll curve foul.
Reggie, I saw a note that there were 18 future Hall of Famers in that game, in the 71 All-Star game. Excluding me now. I mean, I didn't make that one.
Joe, I think there were 18 that played.
Okay.
I think total there were 28 or 29.
Yeah, in the 20s, I think.
20s. 23, 24.
And you know what's great? When you look up, as we don't want to shortchange South Korea's Hee-Sop Choi, but when you look at the 6 gentlemen that hit homers in that game, and remember, that was the American League finally winning a game, right, Reg?
Yes. There were some guys that, when I started playing the American League All-Star game every year, the president of the league, Lee McPhail, would come in and say, Reggie, you and Rod Carew and a couple other guys, would you mind playing 9 innings? Because we never won a game.
Right. But on the other side, Chubb Feeney was saying the same thing. He wanted his guys to play 9 innings.
Yeah, but you guys, you and Rose and Perez, you'd get around the cage and make fun of us. And, hey, we're not going to let you win tonight.
Well, that was true. I mean, I never lost an All-Star game. I didn't play him but 10.
Joe, will you let it up,
I didn't play him but 10.
Okay.
And
ladies and gentlemen, Joe Morgan's team whipped mine every time.
Yeah, every time. And then even after I stopped playing in them, they've won for 2 more years.
Joe,
so it wasn't
you're on TV all year. I got a little shot here. Now you want to knock me down. Easy, man. Throw me a softball, will you?
Well, here's an easy one, Reg.
Thank you.
And the folks at home might have forgotten that not only did you homer in that game, but all the runs came on homers that the American League won 64. Frank Robinson and Harmon Killebrew hit him for the American League. Hank Aaron, Johnny Bench, Roberto Clemente for the National League. The big picture there is 6 homers hit by 6 Hall of Famers. Exactly. And there we go. Choi gets one.
Got on the board. He got one. I could have hit one tonight. I could have hit one. Wind blown out. Could have hit one.
You could have hit more than one, even today.
Uh-oh. Now this way up there to center. Yes, that ball kept carrying for the big fella from South Korea.
You know, he's got a little lift in his swing, though, and that's hard to continue. Abreu, when he was in there, it was just an easy move. He looked like he could have hit home runs all day. Wasn't going to get tired.
He did.
Just had a groove, and he was just really smooth. I think he's going to come back and hit some more.
And he was hitting solidly, Reggie. That was the real key, I think. He was hitting it right on the sweet part of the bat.
Reg, you talk about being a young man joining the All-Stars. So guys like Mays and Aaron and Mantle and those guys, when this one goes deep to right, back, and it's way back. So Choi's starting to feel it out. But You look around the room for the first time or two, Joe, I could ask you the same question. All these guys, the greatest names.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you're thinking, what am I doing here? Or?
Yeah, I did. I was so excited. Willie Mays, Henry Aaron, and Roberto Clemente, who people had talked about being some of the greatest players that ever lived, were in the same outfield, and that was a big deal. Yeah. The home run that I hit that night, it hit off the transformer, and it was a big deal that Willie Mays had picked it up as he shot hits number 4, right?
Yes.
It was a big deal that Mays had picked it up and threw it into me back in our dugout because he was my idol. And when the game was over, I stood around. I stayed after the game and got autographs. Gibson was there, Marichal was there, Tom Seaver, Steve Carlton, you name it, the star was there. Al Kaline, it was unbelievable.
Look at that one. So Hee-Seop Choi, while we're talking about the memories of this 71 All-Star game, all of a sudden, 5 of the last 7. He went on a little run a few weeks ago.
I'm amazed, Chris and Joe, how big the people are.
I just mentioned that before you came here, Reggie. I said, Reggie was considered, pretty big guy in his day. I said, when you stood up against some of these guys, you look like...
Exactly.
Yeah, very small.
Looked like Mutt and Jet.
Yeah, I was telling him. We just mentioned it on the air.
I was standing next to Derek Lee. He's about 6'5", A-Rod 6'4", and then Cabrera, Vladimir. Yeah. Cabrera stands next to Vladimir, and Vladdy's bigger than he is.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Cabrera was standing there with David Ortiz, and he was bigger than Ortiz.
Oh, almost. Hee-Seop, you mentioned Derek Lee. His dad, Leon Lee, is the guy that found Hee-Seop Choi in South Korea and signed him. So it's a baseball truly international. He did a good job. He's not an all-star, but he said he wanted to come and represent his country, South Korea. And he did well. He got in the groove a little bit, hit 5 home runs, Joe.
Well, one of them was a monster home run down the right field line, so that one looked more like a Reggie Jackson shot. 474 feet down the line.
Thanks for the props, Joe.
Yeah.
The Reds didn't have this way back when. Here, the home run chart. Yours would have kept going into the lights, I think.
No, they didn't have that. This is a...
Well, it can't be a home run derby without Mr. October. And
right
without a home run we were still talking about at Tiger Stadium. You want to go by there and look at the light standard while you're here?
I've been standing outside all day telling people about it. I've been over there. Why do you think it took me so long to get here?
Reggie, good to see you, man.
Thanks, guys.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it very much. Thanks, Joe.
Reggie Jackson. Hee-Seop Choi at 5. We'll be back.
We are back to 2005 Century 21 Home Run Derby from Comerica Park, just steps away from Ford Field, the site of next season's Super Bowl, as Michigan plays big-time host to some major sporting events, including, the NBA Finals 2 years in a row, last year's Ryder Cup, the first and second rounds of next year's NCAA tournament at the Palace. So Motown knows much more than music, Chris and Joe.
Well, it knows its music as well, Sam, that's for sure. Music, sports, it's all happening right here. I tried to dress like Motown tonight, Joe. Give me the nod, right? I went a little Motown.
You got it.
I was afraid we'd be standing in the shadows of love. Yeah, a little Motown music. Oh, the sound is just it's just unique. Bobby Abreu came out with 24. Carlos Lee with 11. Hee-Seop Choi with 5. Jason Bay with none. Pudge coming up. Now, one of the 8 Century 21 Home Run Derby sweepstakes participants will win $250,000 towards the purchase of a new home if the player they're paired with becomes the Century 21 Home Run Derby champion tonight. Now, Edwin Molina of Long Pond, Pennsylvania, paired with Bobby Abreu. Pretty good, huh? Pretty good start. Jennifer Prince is with Hee-Seop Choi. Kate Jones of Mount Juliet, Tennessee, is paired with David Ortiz. Greenie Irwin of Montrose, Colorado, with Andruw Jones. Faye Ziegler from North Wales, PA, paired with Jason Bay, and we'll continue in a moment. But here's the hometown hero, Pudge Rodriguez.
What do you want? Just right up here, right by chest high. See what I can do.
So Pudge Rodriguez, Vega, Baja, Puerto Rico. Lost 22 pounds this offseason. Ryan Sandberg won it a long time ago at Wrigley. Hard to win in your hometown park, maybe extra pressure. Plus, look, Pudge is a right-hand hitter. He's not built like Carlos Lee, and it still is Comerica.
Well, he told me he only had 6 home runs this season, so he said this ballpark's been eating up a lot of his drives, so we'll see how he handles it. You know, I was looking at this, and there have been 5 Puerto Rican players in the history of baseball to win the Most Valuable Player Award. Juan Gonzalez won twice. Roberto Clemente, Orlando Cepeda, Ivan Rodriguez, Juan Gonzalez, and Willie Hernandez won it for the Tigers here as a relief pitcher.
Those first 2 names are pretty significant. Clemente, Cepeda.
Yeah, they're both in the Hall of Fame. And I think Ivan Rodriguez will end up there. I know Juan Gonzalez has been injured a lot the last couple of years, but he was definitely on pace.
There's one, sending it back. The crowd trying to help it. Terry out of here. He does. It's my long shot, Joe.
And it's a long one. I took Carlos,
understand.
remember? I took Carlos as my long shot, long Carlos Lee.
It's not as long a shot. Pudge's mom was a school teacher who became a principal back in Puerto Rico. Down the line, does it stay fair? Just missed. His dad was an electrician. And how about, remember the day that I remember like it was yesterday as Pudge sends it back to left center field. Back. Gone. He was due to be married between games of a doubleheader on June 20th with his wife Maribel, June 20th, 1991 at Drillers Stadium, okay, in the minors. Tulsa, that ball's ripped. Gone. The general manager, Tom Greaves, said you got called up to the big leagues. Well, I'm supposed to get married. Tom Greaves said, you can wait a day, no problem. He said, no. They had he was supposed to get married that night between a doubleheader. They had a civil ceremony at 8 a.m. He got on a plane to Chicago, to Comiskey Park, had a base hit in the 9th inning, got married in the morning, had a hit at night. How's that for a day? Good! He's my long shot, Joe.
Well, it's looking better and better.
All you got to do is be in the top 4, right?
Yeah.
Three in a row for Pudge. That one went 440. And not enough lift there. And we talk about it every time you and I have Pudge in a game or situation. And you were a teammate to one of the greatest catchers, many field league greatest, Johnny Bench. But Pudge, what he's done behind the plate, I mean, he ranks right there.
Well, he's the only guy that I've ever compared to Johnny Bench. I think Johnny Bench was the greatest catcher ever. And Rodriguez compares favorably to him because they're both so quick behind the plate. It's unbelievable how quickly they can get quickly Johnny could get the ball to second base. And Pudge Rodriguez is very similar. They have great footwork. So he's the only guy that I've ever compared to Johnny Bench in my days.
That was about the only one that you could. That was Derek, his son Derek, watching. And hard to have it carry there. So 7 outs now for Pudge. Derek's saying, come on, Dad. Oh, yeah! Way back! God!
I'm watching Ivan. He hasn't really changed his hitting style. He is actually going back through the middle, and then he reacts to the ball inside, which is the way that he hits most of his home runs. He reacts on that inside pitch like that.
Sends it way back to left center field. Back, and gone! His 6th.
Well, that puts him past Aesop Choi.
Yep. And the Puerto Rican flag being waved down the first base line. How about the... does this one have enough mustard? Sends it way back to left field. Almost. How about the postseason that he had in '93 for the Florida Marlins?
Well, he's the reason that they won the World Series. He was unbelievable. And when I talked to K-Line today, he was telling me that he thinks that you're going to see a different Tiger team the second half because they're all getting healthy now. And they also have Maglio Ordonez back with them.
So the gold ball with 1 out to go. Will the gold ball have luck for Pudge? The MVP. Yeah, back with Texas in '99, and he sends this one all the way to East Lansing. So 7 homers for Pudge. And you're right, Joe, that's more than he has all the first half of the season. At 7, though, may put him in the driver's seat. You know what I liked before that? He was talking to the catcher. Where do you want me? He was talking to the catcher, not the pitcher.
Well, he's the catcher.
I know that. They hang together. Pudge in front of the home crowd with Sam Ryan. Sam?
Pudge Rodriguez, not only representing Puerto Rico, but representing the Detroit Tigers. What is it like to do this in front of the hometown crowd?
Well, I feel a little bit, I feel good. It's nice to be here in front of my home people in Detroit, and it's nice for a guy that is not hit home runs, so having a great time back there.
You've been in home run derby in the past. How do you prepare for this?
Oh, it's just it's between a good pitcher and throw you where you want to throw, and I think Killer did a great job. He threw the ball where I wanted, and it's not, it's not easy to hit home runs, but 7 home runs, I take it.
He'll take the 7, guys.
All right, Sam, Pudge, thank you. And, of course, he credited Mick Kelleher, one of the coaches with the Tigers, for throwing it in the right spot. You know what? They worked on this quietly this week here. I know they did.
You can see how he reacts to the ball inside, and that's where he hit most of his home runs, on pitches inside.
This was his longest home run. Yeah, there's Derek. That's great. What a thrill. There's Dad out there in the home run derby. I'm on the field with him. The longest one was 442. And he, you know what? I can say that, his entire career has spanned almost our ESPN started baseball in 1990. So when he was called up in 91, Joe, I feel like he's one of our players, and the guys that we've covered for a decade and a half, one of my favorites.
And had the pleasure
of my favorites.
Yeah, to watch him play the game, you've been, we get a chance to see what a great player he really is.
Remember he blocked the plate against J.T. Snow in that divisional series against the Giants?
Doesn't get any better than that. That was the last out of the ball game and got them to the next level of playoffs.
Home run. He won the game the night before with the base hit. You're right. Florida goes nowhere without him that year. That's for sure. So Pudge with 7. And now that'll bring up the United States as representative, and a good-looking 25-year-old first baseman who can play some third, some right, and some left. And that would be Mark Teixeira from the Texas Rangers, the first-round pick, the 5th overall pick of the Rangers in 2001. And here he is in the All-Star game. He's just hoping to put on a good show. He had 38 homers, 112 RBIs a year ago, Joe. At the break, he leads the American League with 25 home runs.
And he is my pick along with David Ortiz. I think we're going to have a
hit you every
playoff
time.
between the two.
I don't care. Go ahead. It's all right. Hey, don't worry about that. Okay.
Well, he's a switch hitter, and you can see that all 25 of his homers this year have come lefty.
And this is a left-handed hitter's ballpark.
Now, there wasn't a tough decision. But he's got to get in the groove here, yeah? Again, now it's not so much that he can't hit off. It's Dale Swaim, one of the Red Sox coaches, the third base coach, I should say. See, when you're a young guy, a little early to bring your own coach, right?
Let's see if we can mark on the board.
You know, I was looking at, you know, this, since this is an international flavor tonight, I was looking at Hall of Fame players who are born outside of the United States. And at this point, there's only 7. And I guarantee there will be a lot more because there are a lot more great players now in the major leagues than there was years ago. Luis Aparicio from Venezuela, Rod Carew from Panama, Orlando Cepeda from Puerto Rico, Roberto Clemente from Puerto Rico, Ferguson Jenkins from Canada, Juan Marichal from the Dominican Republic, and Tony Perez from Cuba.
Al Teixeira on the board with his first home run. Pride of Mount St. Joseph's High School in Baltimore. Played ball at Georgia Tech, college ball. And this one goes way back, and now he starts to get in the groove. He won the Dick Hauser Trophy, the College Player of the Year in 2000.
And they're the players who were born outside of the United States that are in the Hall of Fame. That's a great list right there.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
and again, you know, with the makeup of the game today, there are going to be a lot more players that were born outside of the United States in the Hall of Fame in the next, you know, 8 to 10 years.
Absolutely.
Oh, watch out.
Ooh. Fans and the photons down the line. There's a guy that's hit a few home runs. And Manny Ramirez starting to warm up for the Red Sox, the world champion Boston Red Sox. That was patient. How that ball was high.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to relax. I mean, again, in your first one, that's why Bobby Abreu's performance was just unbelievable because it's his first home run contest here at the All-Star game.
Got a lighter bat? Lighter bat?
Now he's got to make the adjustment here with the gold ball in, which means you're down to 1 out. Mark Teixeira became only the second Ranger last year to hit for a cycle. The first, one of our favorite nicknames, O to be Young Again McDowell.
Oh, yeah, O to be.
Oh. And so Mark Teixeira, he was hoping to put on a good show, got a good smile, but he, like Jason Bay of Canada, I guess this North America thing's not working out. So poor Mark Teixeira in his first All-Star game gets the one dinger. Sam Ryan with Mark.
Mark Teixeira, your first home run derby representing the United States. What was this like for you?
A lot of fun. You know, watching Bobby do his thing early in the day was impressive. I just didn't want to get shut out.
You mentioned Bobby and Carlos made it look easy. How much more difficult is it than they made it look?
It's tough. You know, it's not easy to go out here when you're trying to hit home runs. So, you know, it's impressive what these guys are doing tonight.
Mark Teixeira, everybody.
All right, Sam, Mark, thank you very much. With the Texas Rangers and Teixeira and Michael Young, they're a hard-hitting, hard-playing ball club. Didn't work out for them tonight. Ortiz and Andruw Jones coming up.
He want me to lose, but no chance, okay? Go Bill.
Bobby Abreu from Venezuela was the first man up at this home run derby and promptly set a record light years ahead of anything else. 24 home runs. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's going to make it to the next round. Carlos Lee in good shape with 11 and Pudge with 7. Ishap Choi on the fence with a couple of big guys coming up next. The ESPY Awards after the Yankees-Red Sox at 6 Eastern. The ESPYs are at 9 Eastern. And one of the awards you'll see presented the best baseball player for last year. Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols, Vlad Guerrero, Johan Santana, Roger Clemens, and Curt Schilling from the world champion Boston Red Sox, which leads us to our next batter. But first, our next guest, Jason Varitek, the catcher of the Boston Red Sox, and the man that usually has a C right there on the jersey. Congratulations on last year and on being an all-star, Tech.
Thank you very much.
How about the show Abreu put on, huh?
Unbelievable. He made it look like it's too easy to get the ball out of this park.
We're about to see David Ortiz. How would you pitch him? You don't want.
No, you don't want to ask him that.
Okay, never mind. I stopped myself. I'm sorry. So David's getting some help going up, and you know he's going to light up the room here. How is he in the clubhouse every day?
David's phenomenal. He's become, worked his way, and I say worked his way into being one of the premier clutch hitters in the game. And he's worked his way to do that. And he's a big, strong guy that can handle both lefties and righties.
I think that's the most underrated part of his game is how he handles good pitching, even when he gets behind in the count. They can't just put him away. And I've watched him against some of the best left-handers in the game, and he still handles them very well.
He's become so fundamentally sound there that in his swing, his mechanics, and he's learned to utilize his strengths.
Well, there's Miguel Tejada, last year's winner of the home run. They were giving up a spot to David Ortiz, the Dominican Republic flag, and ready to wave at all the balls hit by Big Pappy. You're also the player rep of the Red Sox and the Players Trust, which a lot of the major leaguers and the All-Star game is kind of a focal point on what all the players do around the league, Jason.
Well, in honor of the All-Star game, the action team, with Major League Baseball Trust, they're going to launch the action team here in Detroit. What the action team does is it allows us players and people in entertainment to reach out to high school kids to encourage them to volunteer. And we're part of the, David and I are part of the action team in Boston, and it's just to promote and show kids that you can volunteer and you can make a difference. Doesn't matter if you're a pro athlete or not. If you start young, you can find out what your niche is and get involved.
Well, hopefully you will get a lot of youngsters understanding that any amount of time is worth its weight in gold.
Definitely. I mean, there's other guys. There's Bobby Abreu. There's Jimmy Rollins, both from Philly. They've launched it. It's been launched in different places. It's been launched in Boston, Denver, Minnesota, Philadelphia, and Detroit's next.
I think the great thing there is that you don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to be a star, like you said, to contribute to other people.
There's no question. And once you realize that you can make a difference, whether you are a star or not, that you can find something you can make a difference, and it's very
rewarding.
rewarding.
Give them a purpose, the young people.
So we watch Big Pappy, who, and I think a lot of people are starting to find out, in addition to the home runs, he's quite a hitter. I mean, just all sorts. It's not just long ball with him, although tonight that's what he wants.
Yeah. He's become the hitter because of the home runs have come because he's become a very good hitter.
Well, he's patient at the plate right here with Dale Swaim. So headlines tomorrow in Boston: Swaim doesn't pitch well to Ortiz. That's coming, Tech.
Dale throws so much to all of us that he'll find it, and he'll find it for David. I've seen him do it before, and he'll find it.
So you're going to catch possibly Curt Schilling out of the bullpen for a little while, huh?
That'll be interesting. It'll be just nice to have Curt in our staff, period.
That's it.
With him pitching an inning, have you even thought about, okay, just an inning or two, how do I change what kind of pitches I look for him when he comes in that situation, just to get 3, 4, 5 outs?
I think what we're going to have to do first is communicate what he feels strong with when he comes out. It could be fastball slider, could be fastball split, could be split slider. So he's going to have to gauge on how he feels and how his health is, and then we have to also gauge the scoreboard and what's going on in that game.
Well, John Smoltz made the same kind of transition, and now he's back to starting, so I think it can be done.
Well, Big Pappy hits one a long way, and that did go a long way. That's gone. Everything calm now with the All-Star break, Tech. Everyone had their opinions, as usual, on Schilling in the bullpen.
Oh, I think that the main thing is that we have a strong clubhouse. That's not going to be taken away from us. Things get sometimes, blown out and people run with it. And we have a strong clubhouse. Kurt's going to make our pitching staff better. It doesn't matter what he does. And this team's going to survive on its pitching.
I think the interesting thing is no one calls you guys underachievers anymore.
And gone. That was a laser.
I guess winning the World Championship will do that.
Yes, it will.
It's a great sense of
putting a lot of people in place, in their place.
It made a lot of fans and a lot of people be able to breathe easy and walk into a lot of games happy.
And you're first place at the All-Star break. First place at the All-Star break.
Yeah, and I think our better baseball's ahead of us. We've had some good stints, but we've been okay, but we're in a good place.
Well, kind of like last year, you guys seem to play better as the season went along.
To be where we are and not have everything completely clicked yet, I think we're pretty fortunate.
I know when you guys were down 0-3 to the Yankees, I mean, you guys did the right thing. You tried to take it one at a time. But I have to tell you, and I didn't predict it, but after you guys won the second game, I knew it would go to Game 7. I mean, just the way you guys were approaching it. And your fans, I thought that was the greatest display by the fans that I'd ever seen. Even when you guys were down 0-3, those fans didn't leave or anything. They were great.
They were awesome. We just had the ability to. We really focused on trying to outplay them pitch to pitch.
Meanwhile, this man's getting focused a little bit. That was a 456-foot home run for David Ortiz.
Well, you can see Swain is making an effort to try to keep it down, but in most cases he's keeping it too low. Most people know a lot of left-handed hitters like the ball down.
Well, that ball it carries. That's where Abreu's rainbows were going out there, right center field.
Well, that's what happens when a big guy hits it.
Regular season in this park, Jason, pretty tough to get it out of here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it plays, as long as the sun's not down. Once the sun goes down, it gets a little bigger.
Yeah.
And, you've got to stay inside the alleys to the poles for the most part.
You know what, another guy, see Johnny, look at this ball by Ortiz. Back, and it is long gone. See Johnny Damon up there with the rock and roll band to start? That couldn't have shocked you.
No, but I'm glad he's better at baseball than singing.
Yeah.
Because he's one heck of an athlete.
Yeah, for a singer, he's a heck of a baseball player.
He shouldn't quit his day job.
Right. Well, you got Bronson Arroyo with some singing and some guitar. And
Bronson can sing, though.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. We're going to have him on one of our Sunday night when we do the Yankees at Boston. He's our 7th inning musical interlude.
Look at that rainbow from Ortiz. Does it have enough? Yeah. So David Ortiz now with 7 home runs. So, and there's the 4 in a row now, and you've seen him go on tears, Jason, that's for sure.
Yeah, David can hit, the nice thing about David, he hit the ball out of the ballpark anywhere. He can go left field to right field line, and lefties or righties, and that's what makes him special.
This one tries to stay up long enough. Whoa. That one went down like a shot.
I think that actually puts him into the second round.
Yep. See, it does.
Yeah.
Someone could come and tell him, you know what, that's enough, save it. But.
Well, again, it's not as hot and humid as it has been the last 2 All-Star games when this contest was going on. So I think the guys are a little fresher today than they would have been, the last couple of years.
You're right, Joe. I'm still on my first shirt, which is a minor miracle. See, and I'd see this is my Motown tonight. Did it work?
Works for me.
Okay. When we go to the Super Bowl here, that'll but tonight it's Motown.
Been the first half. That's gone. What do you do to start the second half, or is there anything that you try to change for yourself?
Well, I think that when you have any part of your games that are struggling, give those people those couple days off to mentally rest. mentally rest more than physically, because physically your body's already into that grind, and being able to come out here allows you to maintain looseness. But I think it'll give your team a mental break to be fresh for the second half, and that's how we started. We had to start the first half was playing the Yankees, so it's time to go.
And the division is David with 9 homers, and here comes Tejada with the flag. The Dominican flag, and he's probably telling him, hey, save it. Maybe he's not. ESPN Deportes tune in to understand what that was.
Wow.
My goodness. Do you remember him vaguely as a Minnesota Twin before he came over to Boston?
Definitely.
He wasn't this.
But he's evolved. He learned how to hit the ball the other way and take his shots in, and he's learned now how powerful he is gap to gap, and it doesn't matter. He's even gotten better since he's been with us from when, his first couple months to that end of that season.
There's one thing you guys have to do, Jason, as a team the second half. What would that be? I know you want to get all the parts back, and you don't have that right now, but what's the most important thing over the next 3 months?
Solidify our pitching. Solidify our pitching and play good defense behind them, because we're going to score runs.
Let me hit a couple of more.
And there's no question we'll score runs. We've got to maintain that and have solid pitching performances.
Spoken like a true catcher.
One of the things that's always amazed me is you have 12 pitchers on your staff as he hits another monster blast.
Look at this big copy. Oh, man, that's one up to the Upper Peninsula in Escanaba.
Smile.
I mean, you have 12 guys on your staff. How do you create, an individual or team concept between you and each one of them? How do you, one guy's a, knuckleball pitcher, you don't catch him that much, but one's a slider, one's a changeup. How do you get in sync that way with 12 different guys?
I think that it takes a little time to get on the field with different matchups, but most importantly, just learning their strengths. What their strengths are going to outweigh anything that we go over or talk about. What they can execute and what their strengths are going to be first and foremost.
So if a guy comes in on a particular night, he says to you, I have my best fastball, then that's what you'll go to, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
He's got his best home run swing. Yikes!
Hopefully everybody has a fastball every day. It's just what pitch goes along with it.
Yeah.
It's hard to pitch in this game without a fastball or above average off speed. But, it's more so knowing what they can and can't do, down in the count, ahead in the count, and how they match up to certain hitters and their best way to execute and get those guys out.
Now, even though Bobby Abreu started with 24 home runs, the best in one single round before Abreu was 15 by Tejada last year, who's put the flag of the Dominican right out there for Big Papi to see. So can he get 15 in this round? Here comes the gold baseball. Think that would help some of the pitchers to pitch with those gold baseballs, Jason? Or no? Maybe a little slippery, maybe get a little action on it?
Maybe be a little darker so hitters can't see it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad to try.
Yeah. Charlie Finley would have thought of that once upon a time. Red, yellow baseballs he wanted.
Make the ball as dark as possible.
Yeah. Se va, y se fue. With the gold ball, $21,000 to charities, the Boys and Girls Club. and more. Every home run hit with a gold ball. 472. See, these are Fenway. He knocks the Ted Williams number down, and he caroms it off.
Sometimes, hopefully, these are long enough to get out of Fenway.
Yeah, I know. So 16 for David Ortiz, the second best single round performance we've ever seen in the history of this Century 21 Home Run Derby. Oh, this one is down the line. Back. If that's not the pesky pole, what is it? The K-line pole.
One more and that's it.
How about this? 9 of the last 10. Is he getting a groove or what? Huh. We're going to try dead center now. So 17 home runs for David Ortiz.
Now we can get off. Now we can get off Dale Swain. Okay.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. Well, celebration for the Dominican players, David Ortiz and Sam Ryan getting out there.
Here
Sam,
we are,
go ahead.
David Ortiz with a big smile on his face, 17, passing Miguel Tejada, your good friend and last year's home run derby champ. He came out here and had some words for you. What kind of advice did he give you?
Well, we were just working on what we did last year, you know, just stay focused and you don't want to get tired, you know, out there. It's that's the big time point in home run derby, so I was trying to do not be tired.
David out here with his beautiful daughter tonight. How special is this for you?
Bueno, muy bueno.
Bueno, muy bueno.
She's having fun, everybody. David Ortiz, congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
Chris?
All right, Sam, thank you, the Ortiz family. And Jason, you came to watch what I guess you see every day in batting practice, huh?
Yeah. Last time he got a chance to do this, Eno got him out. So he found himself a new BP thrower.
Well, once upon a time in 1996, David Ortiz won a Midwest League All-Star Game home run derby. He's graduated tonight, huh? Yikes. That's a ridiculous blast. Here's 472, guys. It'll upset somebody's meal out there. Well, congratulations to Big Pappy. He's moving on to the next round. Jason Varitek, congratulations on being selected as an All-Star. Enjoy these couple of days. We'll see you at Fenway this week.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Tech. All right, and now Sam Ryan with another Red Sox All-Star, Johnny Damon. Sam?
Okay, you know David Ortiz almost better than anybody. Did he do anything to surprise you out there?
No, you know what? He really didn't find his groove, and he was still able to hit all those home runs. So I can't wait until the finals. But David Ortiz makes me look very good year after year, and he definitely put on a great show tonight. You know, Bobby Abreu, you know, that was kind of sick what he did, but I'm still going for David Ortiz and the Dominican Republic. So he put on a great show. He's going to be better in the second round.
All right, Johnny, well, you've seen your name in the paper this week, particularly responding to Curt Schilling going to the bullpen, but you were telling me that some of these quotes were taken out of context. What did you say?
Yeah, well, you know, I didn't really know Curt Schilling was going to the bullpen until I was told by the media when I arrived in Texas. You know, the fact that we are getting Curt Schilling back, I am very happy about that. You know, he's going to make our team better. We all just thought he was going to be starting this last series in Baltimore, but Curt Schilling's our ace. He's the best pitcher on our team. He's a Cy Young candidate every year, so everyone wants him to be the ace. Now, unfortunately, he's going to start in the bullpen. I think he's going to help us out, and that's that. He's going to help us out, and then we're going to go from there. Hopefully, he'll get back into shape where he can start games and get us back to the playoffs, because we know how special he was in the playoffs last year.
All right, Johnny Damon, we saw you up there before with the band singing. You're going to stick to baseball, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they turned my mic off.
Thank you, Johnny. Back to Boomer.
All right, Sam, Johnny, thank you very much. The All-Star festivities here the night before continue as the Century 21 Home Run Derby, our thanks to Freedom, the AmeriQuest Mortgage Airship, providing our aerial coverage and some amazing views of some amazing blasts. So we have seen Bobby Abreu with 24 and David Ortiz with 17 and Carlos Lee with 11. So on the bubble right now is the hometown hero Pudge Rodriguez. His 7 will stand only if it's not bettered by the man with the most home runs, along with a gentleman that joined us earlier, Derek Lee, and that would be Andruw Jones, representing the Netherlands, the island of Curacao, from Willemstad, Curacao, still a Dutch colony.
I guess the question is, do you have anyone left? David Ortiz is still left for me. Do you have anybody?
You said David Ortiz.
Oh, but you can't take the guy that I chose.
You chose
You
two.
gave me the first. You
took two.
Yeah. Well, you should have gone first.
Well, next time I will. I usually have in other years. I was being nice. Well, my long shot was Pudge, and he certainly didn't disappoint me. Now, I don't know that Andruw Jones isn't going to hit at least 8 of these. Or almost did. See, now there's 3. That was a long time. I thought that ball.
I did
that
too.
ball I thought would carry, Joe.
Well, it had a little top spin on it.
So Andruw, who, yeah, how about the way when you see Jimmy Edmonds and Andruw Jones on the same team in the All-Star in center field, you know what? One's going to play 5 innings, one's going to play 4.
Yeah.
You don't even need a left or right fielder, do you?
No, you're not going to notice a lot of difference.
Right. That's what I mean.
That they go get
Those
the ball.
guys are great.
Yeah.
Just love watching them play. Andrew's 4th All-Star selection.
You know, I've always said that I thought Willie Mays the greatest center fielder that I ever saw, and that's because I saw more of him than I did anybody else. And Bobby Cox says that he thinks that Andruw Jones is the best center fielder he's ever seen. So he sees a lot of Andruw Jones. So it works. If you see a guy a lot, you're going to get a better feel for him.
And that one got over there for a home run. Andrew's a 7-time Gold Glove winner. You know, he's only 28. Okay, he's the 5th all-time home run hitter in Braves franchise history. I don't mean Atlanta.
Man.
I mean, wow. Wow. I mean, Boston, Milwaukee, and Atlanta. And you know it's a franchise with Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews.
And Eddie Matthews. They've had some Joe Adcock, a whole bunch of
no,
guys.
he's ahead of Joe.
Yeah.
And this is back, and gone. He's in the groove now. Aaron, Matthews, Dale Murphy, Chipper Jones, and Andruw. He's got 277 lifetime home runs, Joe. He's only 28. I mean, you don't think of him. I know he's hit 30 several times, but you still don't think of him as a big home run hitter, do you?
No. Well, you know what it is? He got off such a great start as a teenager. Remember, against the Yankees in the World Series, he was hitting home runs.
Yes.
So people have always felt like he's never reached his potential, you know, because they thought he was going to be unbelievable when he did that. But I think he's had a great career, and he's been a great player.
Well, he was the youngest to ever hit a postseason home run, and he hit the 2 in his first 2 World Series at-bats. The youngest World Series player before was Mickey Mantle, and Andruw did it at 19 years old. So there's Abreu in the cage, knowing that he's going to hit next.
Well, I guess he wasn't tired.
Well, now he's got to warm up. He's been sitting for 45 minutes.
This is going to be close. No, I guess not.
And actually, Joe, with all the home runs that we had, with Abreu with 24 and Ortiz with 17, and oh, by the way, Carlos Lee 11 is usually a number that we brag about in the opening round. It's also quite a long first round. How about this one? Back. That's almost to the Caribbean.
Well, he's hitting big flies, high fly balls that go out of here.
Now this is interesting because on the bubble, as the gold ball comes out, is Pudge Rodriguez. If the out comes before 3 more home runs, Pudge will move on. The Detroit fans will be happy. And Andruw, with 27 this year, tied for the most in the major leagues, will not advance to the second round. Just have enough mustard to left field. Yay! Oh my goodness! Good thing they're light. It would have been right through the tarp. So Andruw hanging on. That's a $21,000 charity ball, gold ball home run. And you know the crowd knows what this means. Listen to them. Not that they're rooting for Andruw Jones to make it out, but they were rooting for Andruw Jones to make it out. Well, you think he knows, Derek Rodriguez? So Pudge will move to the next round. He was my long shot, Joe.
Yeah, you're right. He's hanging.
And remember, none of these totals count.
Well, my long shot was Carlos. Well, I got two guys left. I have Carlos, Lee, and Ortiz. Who
Well,
do
we
you have
both
left?
had Ortiz.
We both can't have Ortiz.
Well, then I'll be on Abreu, too. To Sam Ryan. Sam?
All right, Boomer. Andruw Jones, 27 home runs on the season. Does that prepare you at all for a home run derby?
Not really. I mean, you know, game is different than batting practice. You know, you go out there trying too hard and, you know, you miss a lot of balls. But, you know, it's just fun and, you know, coming here and just have a good week.
Representing your country of Curacao, not enough to go to the second round, but what's the feel like back home for the family?
Well, it's just good to represent Curacao and Holland and give them an explosion for this next World Cup coming up. And it's going to be fun for baseball and fun for the fans to, you know, enjoy every professional player playing for their own country.
Andruw Jones, thank you.
All right, Sam, Andruw, thank you very much. Well, Andruw has really, in many ways, carried the Braves. They've had some of their biggest players injured, like Chipper Jones. This one, did it get to the hit it here sign? Yes, it did. And so, one lucky fan is going to win a brand new 2005 Chevrolet HHR courtesy of MasterCard because of that home run hit by Andruw Jones. And that fan is Peter Patrick Vital. I don't think any relation, but we better look into it. Peter Patrick Vital. It's awesome, baby! He got a PTP car, baby! We'll be back with the commissioner.
MLB Priceless Moments, presented by MasterCard.
Gives the ball to the kid. How awesome is that? Jimenez in the air.
And there's one happy fan.
That's why we love this great game and the great players in it.
The moment. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Big hug. A big Josh Bell fan.
Wish you a long and happy life together.
Mike Trout, as usual, signing autographs for some young fans, and the reaction, priceless.
Well, we have our four semifinalists at the Century 21 Home Run Derby. Bobby Abreu ran out of the gates with 24. David Ortiz with 17, both records in one round. Carlos Lee with 11, and Pudge Rodriguez of the hometown Tigers in with 7. And they will erase those total and we'll start again. The four longest of the day. Big Papi hit one 483. Bobby Abreu hit one 483 and a half. Andruw Jones, who did not make it to the second round at 486. And then there was this one, 517 for Bobby Abreu, hitting it almost to Venezuela. And there's Bobby, who will hit first. But first up is the commissioner of Major League Baseball, and that would be Bud Selig. And good to see you at the Midsummer Classic.
My pleasure.
My-
See
our
both of you.
pleasure.
And
Thank you.
it is the Midsummer Classic. You know, Arch Ward, the sports editor of the Chicago Tribune, named it that in 1933. He was right. It is the
right.
Midsummer Classic.
Well, we have the international format tonight, but in the Home Run Derby, that's kind of a dovetail into something you announced today. There are going to be 16 teams. What's happening in March?
Well, it's a very exciting day for baseball. This is the culmination of years of work. The Players Association and Major League Baseball jointly announced today that in March we're going to have the World Baseball Classic. It will really speed up the internationalization process of our sport. We have a lot of countries that are not in the 16. We can only do 16 that want to get in. We have China, we have Japan, Cuba. There are a couple details to work out, but there will be the Netherlands, Italy, Korea, on and on and on. It's really impressive. And, you know, I've said for a long time that the internationalization of our sport was so critical. We are doing great here. We're in the midst of baseball's greatest season. We passed the 40 million mark in attendance yesterday. Wow. I mean, when you guys think that we're going to draw somewhere between 73 and 75 million people at the major league level, set a record at the minor league level, any criteria one uses, we are having our greatest year. But now we're going to take this game and make it not only continue its popularity in places like Japan and Korea, but go into China and other places and really increase the popularity of the sport. This was a huge day. We had 8 players there. Dontrell Willis was there and people like that. It was just... the players are excited. We're excited. And next March, I don't think people realize how big this is going to be. And I think long after I'm done being commissioner, this World Baseball Classic will be something, Chris and Joe, that people will really see as another stepping stone to take the greatest game in the world and really make it the greatest game in the world.
And some of them are going to happen in the spring training, right? You can go to Arizona and Florida and see some of these games.
No question,
yeah?
Absolutely right.
Well, I didn't get a chance to talk to you when this happened, but what about the Olympics dropping baseball and softball? I don't personally like that.
I don't like it either because you know how you and I feel the same about our sport. And so I was disappointed when I heard it. But I must tell you, it isn't going to interfere with anything we do, Joe. And I think the World Cup, Chris, is going to be so big that someday they'll understand the mistake they made, and then it'll be up to them to try to do something about it. I can't stop our season for 2 weeks in the middle of the season. Joe, you know, if I had come to you and back in the Big Red Machine days and told Sparky and Bob Housen they had to take 2 or 3 weeks off, you know what would have happened.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. But I am telling you, this will be huge for the internationalization of the sport.
Speaking of which, how huge is you? Can you stay with us while Bobby Abreu?
Sure, of course.
Which, if it's like his last at bat, will be 17 minutes. So don't go anywhere.
That
right?
was unbelievable. I'm glad to stay.
24 homers, 17 minutes. So Bobby Abreu, we do now in the second round. The same thing with 10. Now what? He went into the freezer for an hour, and like he comes out and it's thawed right away. Wow. He has the home run track down here, doesn't he?
Unbelievable. What a performance.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you a question about, you were on the radio this morning as he hits another one.
Yeah, business as usual for Bobby Abreu with the Phillies.
I guess the freezer didn't hurt him too much, did he?
No, you were on the radio this morning and you had a comment about Kenny Rogers.
Right.
You want to give us that here?
I sure do.
Yeah.
As you know, I've disciplined him to the tune of 20 games and $50,000 fine, which, although I know there's some people who really haven't done their homework have been critical, if you look in any sport for a dissimilar offense, that is kicking a photographer, doing the thing, it's the most serious penalty that has been imposed, which I believe is correct. He has a right under the labor agreement to take it and appeal it, and he has, and he's right to do that. When we hear the appeal is irrelevant because the All-Star game is not one of the games, Joe. So even if he was under suspension, he was voted in, and that's under the collective bargaining agreement. You know, I hear from time to time, people will say, well, if Kennesaw Mountain Landis were alive, well, Kennesaw Mountain Landis lived in a different era with no union, no anything else, and that's just ridiculous. The collective bargaining agreement takes precedent, even over my best interest clause, which is really omnipotent. I mean, it has awesome power. But the fact of the matter is that once you sign a collective bargaining agreement, all the things that you've agreed to have to stay in place. And so the discipline procedures are there, and they're merely following them now.
Yeah. The only thing that and this is just me, and obviously I didn't know you've explained it better than I could have expected, but the question I have is, you know, when something happens this big on the field, you know, when you have a fight, you know, and you wait until a guy comes to New York and you have the hearing and appeal, that's okay. I'm just wondering, this was all over the national broadcast every week, and it's still there. And I guess my point is it's going to continue to be there until you do have the appeal process. And I just wonder, you know, if it wouldn't be better for all of us to put things behind us.
I want to do it as quickly as possible. No, that's absolutely right. It would not have affected the All-Star game for the reasons I just articulated. But you are right, Joe. We need to get behind us. You know, here we are, I said, having this remarkable year. And nobody hates these, what I call distractions, more than I do. And this is a distraction, no question about it.
And there's Kenny, said he thought about it, and here he is. All-Star late in his career. Now, meanwhile, Bobby Abreu is 6 outs and only 2 home runs. 6 straight out after those 2 home runs. On a different subject. Go ahead, Joe.
It was very difficult to follow what he did the first round.
You know? It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I know that there were some people who said, well, the big sluggers aren't in it this year.
I was one of those.
Well, I know. You know, I was trying to be kind because Joe and I are friends, and I didn't want to say. But I must say, I think David Ortiz and Bobby Abreu and Carlos Lee did okay.
That was going to be my last point to you. I was going to say, even though I didn't agree with the format, it has worked out very well.
Well, let me just say,
we're all friends, by the way.
Well, we are. Yeah. You bet we are.
Oh, look out! Ooh, a photographer just got nailed. No, went past.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say, the format this year is consistent with what I talked about earlier. I mean, we are going international. The idea of players representing their countries. The thing today at the press conference, and I think you're seeing it out here tonight too, with the players carrying flags and things. They're really proud. Every one of them said how happy they are to represent their country.
Well, we'll see that the same. Now here's Abreu trying to get back on the home run trail.
He did.
And he did. That's the most ever in the Derby, but he's not yet into the final round. That's just odd. Tejada had 27 last year, and Abreu now tries to go to dead center. And the ball shaggers, they grab it. So the gold ball comes out. We'll keep with Abreu. I got another question to ask you, Commissioner, but let's see how Bobby does. You think he hits a couple here before the last? You're going to be the Swami now.
I'm going to, yeah, well, I can't take your spot, but I'll say he'll hit at least one.
All right.
I'm with you.
Listen, I listen to you every week. I know you're.
Oh, and
you're correct.
The commish once again. The baseball Swami has spoken.
Can I do your Swami show now?
You want to come on with me? You're in. Hey, we've had everybody on. I don't know where you've been. I've asked.
Well, I'm going to accept.
I know you're a Packer fan up in Wisconsin. You always ask me, how do the Packers look?
See, I do. Right.
As long as Brett Favre is playing quarterback, the answer is they have a chance.
And how well I know that,
yes.
too.
I think the great thing is you mentioned all the problems we've gone through, last couple of years, whatever, that, fans are coming out and, more than ever before. I think that's just fantastic.
Joe, when you think about it, and, we started this spring.
There he goes.
With the steroid issue and everything else. And the intensity in ballparks, and I love the way the second half of the season is set up. We have 2 great wild card races. The division races have tightened up. We're going to have some great races right down to the end, and the excitement everywhere is just really it's remarkable to watch.
Well, you brought up what happened in the winter and the early spring. You instituted a policy. Okay. Congress is obviously on the steroids has another thought in mind.
Right.
Then you suggested, hey, baseball should strengthen its policy, but then again, the players haven't concurred yet. Whose move is next? Players, baseballs, or will you hear something from Congress? Whose move is next? As Abreu obviously has the moves at the plate. Gone.
Let me just go back a second if I can. We had a policy we put in 2002, as you know, Chris. And it worked. It was called weak and so on and so forth. And yet it began to work. But the Players Association, to their credit, tightened it up in January. And there's no question in my mind the program is working. Now, it was interesting. In January, we received...
It's okay. Bobby Abreu finishes with 6, which, you remember, it may be enough to get him going.
We received lukewarm, and everybody was happy. Then came the Jose Canseco book. That's the only thing that happened. It set a lot of things off that were unpleasant. Now, if you were to say to me, well, is the program working? I believe it is, but there's a deeper issue at stake. And the deeper issue, in my judgment, as the commissioner of baseball, is integrity. And that's why, after thinking about it for a long time, I wrote Don Fehr a letter after talking to him, so he knew it was coming, that we need to tighten the policy. 50 games for the first offense, 100 for the second, life for the third, go to independent testing so there's no question in anybody's mind. We need to rid the sport not only of steroids, but the perception that we've been not as strong as we should. And so I've proposed that. The Players Association has been talking amongst themselves. I'm waiting for an answer. But I must tell both of you, I am going to rid this sport of steroids. And so I've said to the Congress, Chris and Joe, that if they want to pass federal legislation, I'm not going to fight it. I guess I was really the only commissioner who said that. David Stern was reasonably close to that. Having said that, though, it's always better if you can solve your own problems. We have come a long way with the Players Association. We avoided a strike and lockout the first time in 30-plus years. So it's better if we sit down and do it. But in my mind, it is imperative that we do it, and do it in a way that we can quit talking about this, and the sport will be better off.
And is it your gut feeling that Congress would look at what you've done, and if the players and you guys get together on it, they'll go, yes, you've done what we've asked you to do?
I believe that's right, Chris. I do, yes.
Integrity is the most important.
Integrity is the key word. The more I think of it, I guess I want to be very blunt with you. Watching the anguish on the face of those players on March 17th that came to Teixeira, it's a day that I will never forget. And I vowed that night, flying home to Milwaukee, that we were going to have to do something really tough so that no future players, commissioners, or anybody else would have to face those kind of problems. It is an integrity issue.
Well, we commend you for it, and as you say, record attendance here at the halfway mark. Meanwhile, we have Carlos Lee. So now, all right, you're the Swami. We got Abreu, we got Carlos Lee, we got Pudge Rodriguez, we got David Ortiz. You're the baseball Swami. You don't have to pick. It's okay.
Well, I'll pick for you. I've got Ortiz and Lee. Those two guys will get
Joe
there.
has...
You know, I'm going to let him have Abreu and
Joe
Pudge
also
Rodriguez.
had Aaron Mays and Ruth. That's
yes,
great,
I
Joe.
Well, Joe, I'm going to join you because I would have taken Lee and Ortiz.
Thank you. See? Yeah.
Chris
I took Pudge as a long shot. I'm in it. I'm in it.
Well, the one thing you got going for you, there's 43,000 people here that were pulling for Pudge.
Well, I thought that would be a good 10 feet on every home run.
You were a little bit more of a front runner here than Joe and I were.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's good of you to join us, Commissioner.
Yeah,
this is a great couple of days. It's become, everybody looks forward to it, always have. And Monday's become, Tuesday's the game, but Monday is a fun night.
You know, this really is a celebration of our sport in the midst of a great year, and it's just sitting here watching all this is fun, and I thank both of you. You know, I'm your faithful viewer all year long, and I thank you for all you've done for our sport.
We look forward to many more years of that.
I hope so.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's always
Commissioner
a pleasure,
Seelig,
man.
a pleasure.
Thank you again.
Congratulations on a great first half.
Yeah.
Great job with the commissioner is that he always, Joey, he just wants to talk
He's
baseball.
There. Yeah, well,
Yes.
he's a baseball person.
Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest thing.
That's the best thing about
he's a
him
baseball
in that
person.
job. He loves the game. So Carlos Lee here in the second round. Oh, look at this thing. To center field, back it goes over all the flags. So that's number 3.
Well, that's my guy, though. I mean, he's got to hit
your
more.
guy.
He's my guy. He and Ortiz.
You have more guys than
well, I had to pick a
Manhattan
right.
phone book.
Well, I had to pick a right-hander and a left-hander.
Okay.
You know.
Joe, your list includes the Manhattan phone book.
I like that Ruth Mays in there, and I think I would have had a winner there.
Well, I would have tried with Frank and Harmon. Okay. Did that go? Yes, it did. So Carlos Lee with 4. Remember, we wipe out the total in the first round, and the highest 2 totals move on. Bobby Abreu had 6, representing Venezuela. Carlos Lee with 4 thus far for Panama. Pudge Rodriguez for Puerto Rico coming up, and David Ortiz, the Dominican Republic. I guess, as we said, if you're looking back for the Northern Hemisphere, or at least North America, Mark Teixeira had 1 for the United States, and Jason Bay had none for Canada. So, you got to go to warmer weather.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the key. Rich Donnelly, the pitcher from the Brewers staff. And you know what? Seeing Rich Donnelly out here, and we were talking for a little while. You know who else was around as Pudge Rodriguez gets ready? You know, was of course a great friend of National League manager Tony La Russa.
Yeah.
You know what? Did you see Jim Leyland?
Yeah,
he looked good.
Yes, he did. I am surprised that he's not managing a team.
He'll be managing by the end of the year.
Well, because I think you look at teams now. I mean, it's kind of this win now mentality in most cases, and he's a guy that knows how to win.
Underachieving team that might want to scrap a manager, they got to look at him, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked great. Tony La Russa always said, call him Murtaugh for Danny Murtaugh, the old manager of the Pirates. They beat the Yankees in 1960 on Maz's home run. So I said Murtaugh, and he wheeled around because only about 3 people call him that. Reggie. Yeah, that one. Shot number 6 for Carlos Lee of the Brewers.
But I think you can tell that he's starting to feel it a little bit. Everybody gets a little tired in the second round, and they're even more tired on the third round. I was watching Bobby Abreu as well. He was a little tired. He regrouped there toward the end.
5 outs in a row here for Lee.
Abreu has posted 6 home runs here in the second round.
That one to left center field. A long way back it goes. Back. Not quite. Now, we talked earlier in the introductions, which now seems like yesterday. You mentioned his name before, from Panama, the great hitter, one of the great hitters of all time. That would be Rod Carew, the Hall of Famer from Panama.
Yeah, he could hit. I mean, he could really, really hit. I always thought Rod Carew, I watched him play sometimes, it seemed like he just catch the ball on the bat and throw it wherever he wanted it to go, you know. That was that wee willy killer, hit him where they ain't. Yeah, well, Rod Carew could do that with the best of them.
I really thought he would, and many of us did, hit 400 one
Well,
year.
you know, if he played in the last 5 years, I think he would have hit 400.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I don't think the pitching was as consistent in 5 years ago as it is, was when he played.
Yeah, meanwhile, Carlos Lee got tired at the end. The big guy from the Brewers in Panama failed in his last 8 swings, so he ends up with 4, which doesn't necessarily at this point eliminate him.
Well, I think the biggest problem we see is fatigue. I mean, you only have so many good swings in your body every day. And remember, they took batting practice, then they hit the first round here. It takes a lot out of you. I mean, in baseball, if your swing slows down just a little bit and you're geared to catch the ball a certain play in front of the plate and you can't do it, you're not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah, Pudge Rodriguez and David Ortiz coming up next in round number 2.
MLB at Home is presented by T-Mobile, here to connect you to what matters most. Learn about T-Mobile's COVID-19 response at T-Mobile.com.
Well, thank you very much. And back here at Comerica Park in Detroit and providing aerial coverage for tonight's broadcast is Freedom, the AmeriQuest Mortgage Airship. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream and Major League Baseball. Sam Ryan.
Well, Chris Berman, the Home Depot, in partnership with Kaboom, funded the refurbishment and Deal Clubhouse, a local boys and girls club's youth baseball and softball field here in Detroit. Now, this was completed and unveiled just last Thursday, July 7th, part of revitalization of the city of Detroit. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Sam. And great scenes.
Yeah, a lot of great things happening around the All-Star game and, you know, on the peripheral of the stadium. That's really good.
And, you know, it's nice to see a little revitalization in Detroit. I mean, they're a very proud city. They great sports town. We've already commented on a great music town, but, you know, they got the All-Star game here in July and the Super Bowl in early February. And a lot of stuff going on downtown to spruce it up, not just for those of us from out of the Michigan area, but for a long time. They changed the field down there, and those ladies and gentlemen that make their living daily downtown here in Detroit. They love their Tigers, and they've grown to love this guy, Pudge Rodriguez. My long shot.
Yeah. I'm actually pulling for you, I guess.
Well, you have Aaron, Ruth, and Mays. I told you, and I've got Pudge. So Pudge with 7 in the first round was the 4th and final man in, if you will, but it doesn't matter. We wiped the slate clean. Mick Kelleher doing the pitching. And Pudge trying to get untracked. I told you the story of his married at 8 a.m. and had a base hit in the major leagues his first game at night in Chicago. That's amazing. I'll tell you what else is amazing about Pudge, because he came up, you know, like Andruw Jones as a teenager at 19 years of age. How about this, Joe? In 91, when he was a rookie with Texas, he caught 44-year-old Nolan Ryan. So, I mean, here we're seeing a guy play in the mid, you know, that ball is a long way back. Back. That one's to Dearborn.
You know what the thing that amazed me the most about Pudge is that he was able to catch all of those games in Texas.
Yes.
And for people who haven't been there, the humidity, the heat, you know, just playing in that every single day as a catcher, just amazing to me that he caught so many games. And kept his stamina throughout the season, able to hit over 300. His average season there was 300, 323 batting average. You know, I mean, that's amazing.
Not only playing, Joe, how about just living in the heat for 3-4 months? You played in Houston at the beginning of your career, you know.
Devastating. I mean, the heat is just, it eats at you all the time, especially when you go on the field.
Pudge trying to go a long way to right center. Well, the fans trying to pull it in.
Fan interference. Not only did he hit 323, he averaged like 26 home runs in Texas all those years.
And they figure if the fan reaches over and brings it into the crowd, call it a homer. It's only the home run derby. Fan trying to help Pudge lost his beard. Look at this. Now look. Hey, oh, what a catch that was. See that snow cone? That's the long way to center field. Back it goes. Wow. It's a tough part of the park to get it out of there. Off the upper greenery. 453 for Pudge, who has 2. He's building a baseball school and sports complex in the planning stages in his native Puerto Rico. So there's somebody that certainly understands where he comes from and what he can do, and he can still hit home runs. This is way back, and that one's to Kalamazoo. So the first magic number, as his son Derek roots on, is 4. Because that would, well, that means he would at least tie Carlos Lee with Big Papi coming. Inside out swing to right center field.
Man. It went out. Your long shot's looking pretty good right about now.
Well, I mean, are you going to pay me like Giacomo in the Kentucky Derby?
Nah, it won't be that much.
You know, I'm the Swam. I don't take the chalk. Well, he's tied Carlos Lee. One more homer will put him into second place. Won't assure anything. Now this is the deepest part of the park. Does it have enough? Not quite. What will assure him of not being eliminated is 2 more with 6.
Correct.
Oh, this is way back to East Lansing. He's now past Carlos Lee, who knows that his night is over.
Well, 6 would assure him a playoff berth.
Well, in a dreaded bash off, or whatever we want to call it.
Well, we got it, maybe.
We got it, maybe. Back. Yates to Ypsilanti.
Now he's going deeper and deeper.
And the crowd is, well, they're all standing now.
Well, one more cinches him a spot in the final.
5 of his 6 homers, Joe, have gone 450 or more. Up, gets under that one. Take the step out and relax a little bit. One more home run will assure him a berth in the finals. Big Poppy's the only one left to hit in this second round. But Pudge is not done. Patience. Killer. So now the gold ball is in. Little Derek Rodriguez saying one more pop by Pop. And there it is! Way back! And there'll be a Tiger in the finals.
Well, your long shots there. Giacomo's there.
And he should tell him that's enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he should.
Well, he's down to 1 anyway, the gold ball. By the way, that was a charity home run, too. Everybody wins. So Pudge Rodriguez will be in the finals. It was 462. How about the distance, Joe? Oh, man! Way back! To Traverse City.
And that eliminates my long shot. Carlos Lee is eliminated now.
That's all right, because Pudge is in the finals. He's tired, but he's not tired of talking about home runs, Sam Ryan.
He certainly is, and Chris, the first guy to make it to the final round, you just guaranteed a spot. What is that like for you?
Oh, it's nice. Like I said, you know, Killer is doing a great job. He throw it right where I wanted, and just making good swings and hit it up in the air. That's what home run derby is all about, and I just enjoy it and having a blast here.
Now, you knew 7 home runs in the first round. You said, hey, I'll take the 7. That's enough for me. Some of the guys hit a lot more than that, but fatigue seemed to be a factor for them in this round. What was your strategy here?
Well, I just try to let it go, just try to hit the hardest that I can, and tell you what, when you represent your country, when you represent Puerto Rico, your heart is always into it. So this is all for Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico and the Tigers, and Pudge is in the finals.
All right, Sam, Pudge, thank you. So, Pudge, take a breather. Hey, those 8 home runs, the average were 448 feet. I mean, these were not little eephus home runs, Joe.
No, he was going big fly. He actually got stronger as it progressed. That's amazing.
He's a catcher. Well, when he had his MVP season with the Rangers in '99, he had 35 home runs. He can do it.
Yeah.
It's a family affair for his son. And, you know, he hit him everywhere, Joe, including that one off the greenery in dead center field.
And that is truly a big fly.
Let's go back to Sam Ryan quickly. Sam?
And one lucky winner here tonight. In the first round, you saw Andruw Jones. He hit a home run off one of the Hit It Here signs. That means one lucky fan here tonight wins a brand new 2006 Chevrolet courtesy of MasterCard. So here to help me present the key to their brand new car, it's Tim Brosnan, the Executive VP of Business with Major League Baseball, and Bob Kramer, VP of Global Sponsorship with MasterCard. And the lucky winner tonight, Peter Vitale of Michigan. What does this mean for you?
It's awesome. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. Hi, everyone.
When are you going to drive this?
Tomorrow. Sure, why not?
Well, congratulations to you. Congratulations, and a big thank you to Major League Baseball and MasterCard tonight.
And here's what he wanted. Can you imagine coming to the park and, oh, by the way, what'd you do tonight, dear? Well, how was the game? It was all right. The home run derby, some home runs, and we have a new car. That's a good deal. Now, I've been to a lot of games in my life, Joe.
Never
there it
won a
is.
car.
No, I mean, I caught a foul ball.
Well, at the time, that was just as important to you as the car would have
well,
been.
I still have it.
You're right.
Louis Aparicio, a Hall of Famer, Joe.
Yeah.
Louis Aparicio hit it.
Oh, man.
In a Yankee-Red Sox game. He was a Red Sox at that time, early 70s, at Yankee Stadium. I even remember the pitcher, Fritz Peterson. How about that?
You remember everything, so that's what I'm saying. Your cars, you wear them out and they
Joe,
go away.
I
You
was
keep
a
the ball.
teenager then. I'm
Yeah,
50 now. I don't remember anything. So Pudge is in the finals. Bobby Abreu could be after his 24 in the first round, but 6 in the second. Carlos Lee is gone. David Ortiz needs 6 to have a smash off, 7, and he's in the finals against Pudge Rodriguez.
And the interesting thing is Bobby Abreu and Carlos Lee hit 35 combined the first round. The second round, they only hit 10. That tells you
You
about
need
the
to sit
fatigue
down,
factor.
right?
You're darn right you need to sit down. There is some strategy here.
Yes.
It's not just hit them as far as you can for as long as you can. You have to have some strategy.
So now, Puerto Rico with Pudge is in the finals. Can the Dominican Republic, represented by David Ortiz, make it? We heard Jason Varitek. I thought he was very analytical about David. That he realizes power alley to power alley, he realized what kind of hitter he was, and he didn't have to be the pull hitter. How many of those home runs, like the one against the Angels, up to left field, to left field in the monster. Same with right.
Well, I think he's become maybe the best big game hitter in the game right now. I mean, he can do it.
So now David Ortiz, who had 17, an amazing first round. Did he hit too many, Joe? We'll see. To dead center field, and that'll be an out. So Bobby Abreu hoping. He began the night with the record with 24 home runs. Can he finish the night with an appearance in the finals? Depends on David.
In some ways, it would be fair if he got in, but that's not the way the rules are.
Well, if he hits him like that, I mean, that was just a smooth swing and a routine 400-something foot home run. So 1 for Big Pappy here in the semis. His home run went 438. That's to center field. And not quite.
The problem is when you start to tire a little bit, as I said, your bat's a little late, and you end up hitting the balls to center and right center, whereas the first time around when your bat is quick, you pull the ball. And he's having trouble, pulling it so far.
Yeah, that one, trouble elevating. But we know that he can get on a tear. We've seen it. We've seen it tonight. What, he had 9 in a row? It's a long way. If you look at that from up top there, from our AmeriQuest blimp there, Joe, long way, isn't it? Especially dead center. But it's not dead center at the Polo Grounds.
No.
483. Or the old Yankee Stadium, 463.
There you go.
That one may be 463. And way up there in right center field and gone for homer number 2. Tejada won it last year. Rooting for his country mate from the Dominican. And
he's upset because he was late getting to that pitch. That was a good pitch to hit.
Yes.
Inside, he couldn't get to it.
Readjust the gloves. So the world champion Red Sox slugger. Does he have enough in the arsenal? '21 homers this year, 75 RBIs, second only to teammate Manny Ramirez, who has 80 to lead the league and the majors. How about he and Manny last year? 40 homers, 100 RBIs, 300 average. The first pair of teammates, let's see if this one gets out. Just missing. First pair of teammates to get 40, 100, 300 since 1981. B. Ruth L. Gehrig. You ever hear of those guys?
No. I was going to ask you what those initials stood for.
You left me Gehrig, though. You had Ruth and Mays and Eric.
Okay.
I took Gehrig and Ott.
All right, all right.
Yeah. Looking on to Big Pappy.
Well, we said it this first time around. He's trying to keep the ball down because that's where he likes it, and you can see he's having problems getting around on it. That's the big problem.
6 outs. That's Ron Jackson. Papa Jack, the hitting coach, Matt Clement, who has come over and had a great first half in the starting role with the Red Sox. Hey, Ron Jackson, just trying to give him a couple of corner. You're getting up and away, right? A little bit flying out. Is that what that is with the hands?
Well, I think what happens is you start to tire, and then you start opening a little too quickly with your body. That makes your bat drag, actually, instead of speeding it up. It actually makes the bat drag. Well, I agree with that. He wanted to move his little girl back.
Yeah,
if he
not that
fouled the
close.
ball.
Yeah,
you foul a ball off, it might,
Plus, you need to get annoyed at somebody at this point, right? Not at his daughter, who was with it. Just something to get yourself. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's Leo Ortiz. That's truly Big Pappy. That's Big Pappy's Pappy.
Yeah.
Oh, that one is in the jet stream to right center field. Back it goes. Way up there. So homer number 3. Well, he's excelled in late home runs, Joe.
Yeah, he got hot last time.
He needs a couple now. Yep, that'll be an out. So 8 outs. He needs at least 3 home runs. Or else Bobby Abreu will join Pudge Rodriguez in the finals. Does this have enough, Joe? What do you think?
No, he was late on it. He was late on it.
You've called it all. He's been a little late on all of them.
Just a little bit. If we had our telestrator in our K-zone, we could show where he's actually contacting the ball in this round compared to where he was contacting the ball in the first round.
But you can tell us anyway.
Yeah, it's only about 3 or 4 inches, but it makes a big difference.
See, but for the home run derby, you have the tell us straighter.
Actually, I'm better at that than I am the other anyway.
Well, never mind. Don't get me started there, Joe. You know where I'm going to go, don't you? You and I do some Wednesday games together. Well, Big Pappy with a long run. Well.
Yeah.
So he had 17 in the first round, but only 3 in the second round. And so David Ortiz, after what was one of the greatest single-round performances we've seen, second most ever, he's not going to make it to the final. Bobby Abreu, Pudge Rodriguez. And Sam is with Big Pappy. Sam?
David Ortiz, you did have 17 in the first round. How much did that take out of you?
Take a little bit. Get a little tired, you know, but you got to go out there and try to get it done.
Now, as the last batter in the second round, you know exactly how much you need to make it to the final. Does that get in your head?
A little bit, but like I say, you got to stay positive and try to get it done once again.
David Ortiz, thank you.
Thank you.
Chris?
All right, Sam and David, thank you very much for the good show. And then here they went, but not enough of them.
No. And you know, maybe there is some justice in this, the fact that Bobby Abreu hit so many the first round that he would be in, you know.
So Abreu, who began the night shortly after 8 Eastern with 24 homers, now at about 11, will try to do it again.
We are T-Mobile, with the first and only nationwide 5G network, covering over 200 million Americans, and we're just getting started. This isn't our network, it's yours.
I just want to celebrate. I just want to celebrate. So I turn the other way and I carry on anyhow. That's why I'm telling you I just want to
And so this first ever international Century 21 home run derby has Pudge Rodriguez from the Tigers in Puerto Rico facing Bobby Abreu from the Phillies in Venezuela in the finals. And this is truly an international competition and some celebration among friends, different countries. You know what, Joe? Most everyone's listened to us call it tonight. This is how it sounds in other countries.
地元の選手を応援しています。これも行きます。これも大きい。これはまた大きい。10本目。
Por las dudas, Puerto Rico a lo profundo y no. Díganle que no es la pelota.
And then there's just us back gone. I mean, I feel so small compared to those calls. That's just great. Yeah. I heard Bud talk about it, Bud Seeley, the commissioner, and how things are in baseball. Not only, it's always, Japan has always been a hotbed, but just so many other countries in Latin America. And now they're turning to Major League Baseball, not just their own games. And Joe, what is this here? Is this your leisure bats?
I would take it home, but it doesn't fit. It's for the home run derby champion tonight.
Yes, it is. So either Pudge or Bobby Abreu will win this.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. is in Spanish. Un circuit. Now, French I could do, by the way.
Oh, okay. I can do Spanish.
Let's see that. Well, or Jaime Jarrín, the Hall of Fame announcer of the Dodgers, told me quadrangular is the way to say home run also in Spanish. Coup de circuit. The circuit. You know, but we miss the Expos. I do, okay? Now, I like what was the
You're
last one?
the only one that misses the
I
Expos.
miss them, okay? Yeah. I like going up to Montreal.
Yeah. I like Canada as well, but you're the only one that misses.
Now, what was the last one? Dutch? Let me go back to that one more time, because the most interesting one, that we're not going to get it. Dutch was home run.
Okay, that works.
We understand that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you were fluent in Dutch.
Like I said, maybe there's justice here because Abreu hit 24 and 6, so he has hit 30 home runs in this contest, and therefore he probably should be in the finals because he put on such a great show the first time around. And I really think that maybe we have to think about that in the future.
Yeah, I know. We do this every year.
Yeah.
You and I like to tinker.
Yeah, because I mean, you dissuade a guy from trying to have a great round.
And because it was his first, he didn't know, hey, I'm the first guy up, I better keep hitting, right?
Yeah.
But at least that didn't do him in until now, perhaps. Bobby Abreu, Pudge Rodriguez. Now, of course, one fan will win $250,000 towards a home in Century 21, and Edwin Molina of Long Pond, Pennsylvania, moving to Wesley Chapel, Florida. That's who Abreu was hitting for. Delayed his trip, actually, to Florida so that he could be here to see, and he may be able to buy a home down there.
Well, what's interesting is you said $250,000 towards a home. That used to buy you a home. Nice one.
I know. 2 homes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, there's Edwin Molina for Abreu. Yep. And we'll show you Pudge's poke. As Bobby goes a long way to right center, but not quite. Bobby Abreu, Venezuela. Pudge Rodriguez, the hometown Tigers in Puerto Rico. They're the ones. And there's Abreu. Gone! So he hits his first one in the finals. Patience. 3 hours into this thing, Joe.
Patience.
Wow.
I think you've showed a lot of patience as well.
Me?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You and I have learned to be patient in our 16 years of baseball together here at ESPN. Well, it was nice to visit with Reggie, Commissioner, Derek Lee, Jason Varitek.
Reggie will always be the straw that stirs any drink, not just the Yankees. He's the guy that stirs the drink.
So Abreu with 4 outs, just 1 homer. He has the longest one of the night, way back in round 1. One of his 24 home runs went 517 feet.
But you see, he as well is late getting the barrel of the bat to the balls. It's not so much you lose all the bat speed, but what you're used to doing is hitting a ball at a certain point, out in front of you. And as the ball is moving there, when you lose a little bat speed and get a little tired, you cannot get the barrel of the bat there at the same point. But it's hard to change where you're swinging because that's your zone. So it's hard to change.
Well, Abreu with that one, and that'll be, that almost hit it here. We almost had another car. Only 1 car. We had 1 car, that's it.
I would be my
What do you
luck.
mean there's not 2 cars?
Be my luck, I'd have that ticket.
Right. It would be the closest to the whole competition. You're within a foot, but somebody got a hole in one, right?
Right.
Now this one to right center field, back, gone. Abreu starting to find the range again. Bobby, 31 years of age, his 9th season.
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah. Here he goes. Abreu. Starting to fire down a couple of more Abreus. 3 in a row now for Bobby. Hate to make it out on a check swing, right? Well, Edwin Molina for Abreu, and that's Juan Cervera from Hollywood, Florida, a carpenter. Moved 10 years ago left Cuba and came to the United States. So this man has a chance at $250,000 towards home.
Towards home, right.
Does this have enough juice?
Yeah.
Yeah, here comes Pudge back from a brief couple of swings in the cage. Will not be happy that Bobby Abreu is starting to pull him out of here. Long drive to right center field. Back. Atrás. Quadrangular. 36 home runs by Abreu tonight.
And it seems he's made the adjustment of starting his swing a little sooner to get to the ball out front.
Well, he may not have known in his first home run derby, to lay off after 24 homers, Joe. Here's another one. But he did know enough to bring Ramon Henderson from the Phillies to pitch to him. Now, most guys would go, wait a minute, I've given up 37 home runs in one night. I got to get out of here.
38.
Yeah, that's his job. What is your job? To serve up Gopher balls, right? Put that in your job description. Bobby Abreu with 8 homers. Ramon doing a heck of a job laying him in there, 4 in a row. Has to stay up long enough. Ooh. 7 outs now. Those Phillies. Oh, man, this is absolutely tattooed. Back, way gone. Wonder if those Phillies have what it takes in the second half of the season. Tommy will come back. It's really been a non-factor except for a brief little run with his injuries. But if Abreu hits like this, you need 8 singles hitters and him. Foul, which goes as a long out. Here's Bartolo Colon. He's got the gold ball. He wants to pitch with that thing. Two outs left. 9 homers are going to be tough to beat in the finals, Joe.
Yes, you're correct.
I mean, he had only 2 homers with, 4 or 5 outs, but since then, 9's going to be awfully tough.
Well, he was able to make the adjustment to get the barrel out in front. I mean, we could see where he was making outs, not getting the barrel out there. So I think what you have to do in the final round is you have to start your swing a little sooner to get to the point where you want to go. It's like if Nolan Ryan's throwing, you have to start it a little quicker.
Yeah, like maybe if he's pitching on a Monday night, start it Sunday. Yikes. Double figures in the final. It's the most we've ever seen in a final round. What was it that no one would be able to hit it out of here?
Yeah. Well, as I said at the beginning, I mean, these are the best hitters in the game. So some of the best hitters in the game in this contest. So you know they can hit it out of any place.
I mean, look at this. 40. It's a hell of a season.
Well,
tonight. But he's not done. Long shot to right center. Back it goes. More Venezuelan flag waving. Wow. Wow. Miguel Tejada threw out the first pitch tonight. He was the only one not hit out of the park. Goes
late.
to dead center.
Yeah.
Oh. You just hope at this hour. I mean, that's late for these kids. Here comes the gold ball. Every home run hit with these gold balls worth $21,000 to charity. Boys and Girls Club and to Easter Seals. Major League Baseball and Century 21 combining on those charities gets under this one. But I tell you, 11 in the finals is unbelievable. 41 home runs for Bobby Abreu. He's exhausted. And the Abreu fan club, which includes all the Venezuelans and Philly players, with Sam Ryan.
Bobby Abreu, 41 home runs tonight. The good news is you can rest now. Most guys don't hit 41 in a season. How do you sum up this night?
Well, I'm tired, but trying to do better. But I do the best that I can do to hit a homers over here. Trying to just put the show, other fans over here enjoy it. I think this is a beautiful night, so let's see what's going to happen.
And in Venezuela, Johan Santana told me moments ago he called his dad back home in Venezuela. He said the country is paralyzed right now. What do you have to say to the folks back home?
Well, I just want to say to my country, I know they're excited, they have a good time right now, and they with me right now. So thank you for everything, y gracias a todos.
41 on the night, Bobby Abreu. Congratulations. Chris, back to you.
All right, Sam, Bobby, that 41 homers, Joe. Let that sink in. I mean, that's unreal. Unreal by Bobby Abreu of Philadelphia.
Well, one of the things that he does, it keeps his hands up so that he can handle the ball that's belt high and above, which he does here, hits a line drive. And he can also drop the barrel of the bat down on the low pitch. See, right? He handles pitches in all areas because he keeps his hands up.
458 feet here. All right, how about this one here's a number. There's Jimmy. Look at Jimmy. Jimmy's still like a little kid, isn't he? Jimmy Rollins, the shortstop of the Phillies. Here's our chart, and our ace, Marty, on and off the Aronoff, has calculated this, Joe. 41 home runs by Abreu, 17,565 feet. It's not quite as tall as Mount Everest, but I believe it beats a couple of other peaks in the Himalayas. We'll be back.
MLB at Home is presented by T-Mobile, here to connect you to what matters most. Learn about T-Mobile's COVID-19 response at T-Mobile.com.
Bobby Abreu has hung a very tough number here in the International Century 21 Home Run Derby Finals of 11. Pudge Rodriguez has a shot. And again, our thanks to Freedom, the AmeriQuest Mortgage Airship. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream of Major League Baseball, bringing you beautiful pictures of Comerica Park here in its 6th season as home of the Detroit Tigers. Coming up next, the Taco Bell All-Star Legends and Celebrity Softball game. Then SportsCenter will follow that. So a couple of Burrito Supremes first. And then on to SportsCenter. Bobby Abreu, Venezuela, you heard it. They're flying down there. But Puerto Rico, represented by Pudge Rodriguez, still has something to say. And most of the fans who are left here over 3 hours in are Tiger fans because they want to see if their man Pudge can do it. That is on the left, accepting a little premature congratulations. Edwin Molina from Long Pond, Pennsylvania. He's already moving to Wesley Chapel, Florida. He's going to get $250,000 towards that home unless Juan Cervera from Hollywood, Florida has a chance because of Pudge. So Abreu with 41 homers on the night. Pudge with 15, Joe. But a very smart distribution of those 15. Hence, he remains my long shot. But this is going to be difficult, and he knows. Mick Kelleher to throw. Pudge Rodriguez. Swing number one and home run number one. Oh, God.
Great start. And that's what's important because you don't start pressing right away.
And does he get number two right away? Back. Gone. Hello. It ain't done yet. To center field.
A little late on that one.
Almost.
First two homers, 437 feet, 438 feet.
So just one out, 2 home runs. Big mountain to climb. 17,565 feet of home run for Abreu. Yeah, we showed you this earlier. Can he win it in his home park? I really think that Pudge Rodriguez coming here. Ooh, does that stay up? Not quite. Coming to the Tigers kind of signified to some other players that they're serious about winning here, Joe. The Tigers are almost 500 under Alan Trammell. They're better.
Make sure you mark it down.
Going to center field. Oh. Speaking of the manager of the Tigers, there he is. It's a great player for so many years here in Detroit, Alan Trammell.
Who can ever forget Trammell and Whitaker?
They were as good as it got, right?
You're exactly right. They played together for so long, double play combination.
Well, he started out well, but now needs a hot spell. Halfway home is Bobby Abreu with 5 outs in a row by Pudge. Again to center field.
Big ballpark
and
out there.
Almost 420 at dead center. It's not where you want to go.
6 outs for Rodriguez.
Everyone on their feet here in Detroit, hoping for their catcher to hit a few quadrangulars. Hold on. There's one. Atrás, quadrangular. 3. The daunting number is 11 by Abreu. Does it stay fair? Oh, just foul. That's a tough out.
That's exactly.
That's a tough out at this stage of the game. That was low, huh? Venezuela not on the board yet, but 2 outs away from being. And not so fast. Home run number 4. Can Pudge block the plate here with 2 outs to go? And now the dreaded gold ball.
It was right there. I was right there.
Will the gold ball have a golden moment or 7? Look at everybody up. Everybody up now. Oh, this one is way back and left, and as Ernie Harwell would say, long gone. Can't believe I went all this evening without mentioning the great Ernie Harwell.
Well, you're right.
Who was around this weekend. Long gone. Patented call for so many years of Tigers baseball. It's good. Walk out.
I was looking at the guy that he's playing for. He's trying to urge him on.
Wow. That one will get down. Pudge gave it his best, but Bobby Abreu will be the winner of the 2005 Century 21 Home Run Derby.
And somehow it seems fair to me because he hit 41 home runs. That was the most. And I think you have some power. You may need to change the rules a little bit because I think that we got to count something else in here other than just these rounds.
We're going to have to think up with something. But Abreu had the most home runs, and he's the champ. Home runs over 17,000 feet. And Sam Ryan with Pudge Rodriguez, who gave it his best, Sam.
Yeah, Pudge, not enough to catch Bobby tonight. But what kept you going here tonight?
Well, I think I have a great experience. I don't expect to be this far, but I just did my best for the fans here in Detroit. I think they're great fans. I just did my best for Puerto Rico, and I just have fun.
And the fans on their feet during your at-bats tonight. Pudge Rodriguez, you made it to the finals. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chris?
All right, Sam and Pudge. Hey, it was my long shot show. Almost long enough, huh? But Bobby Abreu, and we'll be back with the trophy presentation and to wrap things up here at Comerica. And so, it's a heck of a lead into the All-Star game, the 4th All-Star game to be held in Detroit. Most of the previous ones were classics. We'll be back.
We are T-Mobile with the first and only nationwide 5G network, covering over 200 million Americans, and we're just getting started. This isn't our network, it's yours.
The Century 21 Home Run Derby is brought to you by Century 21. Visit your local Century 21 office. Real estate for your world. And in part by Nike. And Fram Filters. Before you slam it, Fram it.
Well, in Detroit, that man has, in Motown, sunshine on a cloudy day. That was Bobby Abreu. of the Philadelphia Phillies with all the home runs, 41 to be exact, and he was the convincing champion here of the International Century 21 Home Run Derby. By the way, Abreu was the leadoff man in this competition and came out of the chutes with a bang with a record number of home runs. And if you want to see those, wait 2 minutes, go over to ESPN2 and start watching Bobby Abreu hit home runs all over again. But his work tonight here is done. Sam Ryan with the presentation.
And Bobby Abreu gets to leave with some hardware tonight for his work during the 2005 Century 21 Home Run Derby. And here to help present the trophy tonight, we have Tom Coons, the president and CEO of Century 21, along with Bob Dupay, president and COO of Major League Baseball. Bob?
Yep. Congratulations to the 2005 Century 21 Home Run Derby champion, new holder of every Home Run Derby record from the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the great country of Venezuela, Bobby Abreu.
Thank you very much.
Bobby, how important was this for you to win?
Excuse me?
How important was it for you to win this today?
Well, this is really important for me because I just represent my country. I just gave to the trophy for my country. I just came here to, just put the show. I'm just so excited, and sometimes I don't know what to say. But it's one thing. I made it, and I win this.
With the new format here of Home Run Derby, look what you have behind you. You have a Marlin, you have a Dodger, you have an Oriole, you have a Twin. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means, that we all together, we stay together. We just a country that we always trying to help the people, and we never be alone. We always start with together. We're gonna be together every time, and this my country.
Well, Team Venezuela, congratulations, Bobby. And Bobby is not the only winner tonight. We come over here. And with Bobby's victory tonight, that means one lucky fan wins $250,000 towards a brand new home, courtesy of Century 21. I have John Greenleaf joining me now, the Senior VP of Marketing for Century 21, to make the presentation. John.
What a night it's been tonight. Bobby, you thrilled baseball fans everywhere. And Edwin, $250,000 from Century 21 toward a dream home. Congratulations.
Edwin Molina, what do you have to say to Bobby Abreu?
I just thank God that he has the talent to hit the ball far. It kind of scared me in the first round when you had so many, and then you hit 6. But David Ortiz, he gave me a break, and I just thank you, man. Thank you so much.
I know you're from Pennsylvania. Are you a Phillies fan?
No, I'm actually a Met fan, but we're bringing it home to Philadelphia because my brother here plays for the Phillies.
Well, congratulations to Edwin. Congratulations to Bobby Abreu, 2005 Century 21 Home Run Derby champ.
All right, Sam, I don't know if cheesesteaks are now big in Venezuela or the Venezuelan food big in Philadelphia, but certainly what Bobby Abreu did tonight is amazing, Joe. I mean, amazing to have the stamina to start with 24 and end with 11. I mean, we saw a guy that looks like he was the equivalent of hitting home runs in an extra inning game.
Well, we've done these several times.
Yes,
we've
we
never
have.
seen anything like what Bobby Abreu did tonight. And I think it just shows you that not only does he have great talent, but he has great timing, and I think that was the reason he was able to win. And he has a lot of stamina, too.
Well, he does. He went there with a plan, and his plan was hit as many home runs as I can, not to take a rest. I don't know. Maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. I think they'll try to model themselves after him from now on.
Well, he certainly made his country very proud. Venezuela in the first international competition. Nice working with you again.
Always
partner.
a pleasure.
Okay,
Always
Hall
a
of
pleasure.
Famer Joe Morgan. Here, another home run derby is in the books. So from all of us here, coming up next, the Taco Bell All-Star Legends and Celebrities softball game. Sports Center after that. For Joe and for Sam Ryan and all of our hard-working ESPN crew, I'm Chris Berman. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Bobby Abreu, Venezuela, big winners of the International Century 21 Home Run Derby. Good night from Comerica Park in Detroit.
Another day of